Yo, welcome. What's happening, everyone? Little bit different, a little bit later than usual. Wasn't intentional. Sounds like the missus had a hell of a day with the little one, so went out for something to eat with the missus. Thought, what's the point in rushing back to talk about what's gone on? Obviously, couldn't go live immediately. We had our own game to play, so got Paddock's game out of the way. We won 2-0. 3 games left to go in the league. We can win it, or we could not win it. It's very, very tight. There's 3 teams that could win it at the minute. So I couldn't go live immediately, and I thought I might just do a live one later on. So this could end up being another couple of hour hangout as usual. Kieran Donovan in the comments there saying Ollie out is looking very silly. Listen, this is the case all the time. It's the recruitment in the 11 means way more than people want to give it credit to. I did miss the game today. I mean, I watched it, but I missed it. I didn't go. Well, I woke up with the intention to go, but I've pulled a muscle in my calf. And I was in agony walking around London yesterday with it. And obviously it's a bit of a walk to get to Old Trafford. I was like, I just don't think I can do it, So, I mean, I struggled. I nearly had to leave Paddock's game after about an hour on the sideline. I was in genuine pain with it. Big super chat there from Daniel Shepherd. Thank you very much, mate. It says, hope you're doing well physically and mentally. Apart from a little bit of an injury I've picked up, yeah, I'm all right, I guess. How did I do that? I think I did it running on Monday. My United fans from Iraq. Canal. Nice one. I am getting old. So let's talk about that utter shit show today then, lads. Because I've told it. I've titled it Maguire and Shaw awful, and they were. Funnily enough, though, we've had 3 consecutive 1-1 draws, and they've all been different, and they've all been a little bit of a progression to a greater or lesser degree, and I think I would say that continued today. We actually created a lot more today than we have in the previous games in terms of XG. I think it was like 2.8 XG today, and for all of the people like XG's a lot of bollocks, it's not, and it does actually represent something. And when you look at the strength of the chances we created today, we should have scored more than a single goal. We absolutely should have scored more than a single goal. We're creating more chances. We're conceding less chances. It's going in the right direction. My worry is the progress will be too slow. And the problem with the progress being so slow is the guy's here for 6 months. And it's probably not long enough to impact what's going on, I don't think. So, sensational. Thank you very much. Mrs. has brought us a rum. Diplomatico, I presume. Yeah, sensational. So the progression's nice, but it's not quick enough, and it's not sustained enough for us to see any sort of tangible turnaround. I don't think it'll be enough to win the Champions League, and it's probably far too late for us now to rescue top 4 in the Premier League. And I think there's some serious individual players that need to start taking a long, hard look in the mirror. And I know the players pick themselves, so Rangnick's going to cop some for this as well. You can't excuse the continual picking of Harry Maguire. He is dropping in shocking performance after shocking performance, and no manager in his right mind would select him anymore. Ronaldo didn't have a good game in the slightest today either. Antonio Valiente in the comments there says, I 100% believe the progress you talk about it heavily skewed given the opponents we have played recently. Once we play real teams or top 6 teams, it's going to be shite again. Yes and no. There's a chance of that, but also some of these sides that we're playing are the sides that we previously dropped points to. You know, the league's not linear that you lose to the top teams and you beat the bottom teams. It doesn't work like that. It's a lot more topsy-turvy than that. Maguire's performances today, honestly, I even proportioned some of the blame to him for the goal. Honestly, he did jack shit for the goal. Just run alongside it. Are you a cameraman? And there was the one where they could have had a penalty. And they looked at it, didn't they? I think they just missed. Put a challenge in. I saw a couple of people on social media resharing that challenge from Koulibaly when he had no right to make a challenge for it. Muller's a man, wins the ball clean, stands up and plays it, and you go, yeah, that's what an £80 million centre-half looks like. And I think Varane's been very good for us, actually, and Varane certainly is the first name on the team sheet. One sec. But Varane had a big hand in their goal today. Varane steps out, partially because I don't think he's getting the cover he requires from midfield. The midfield wasn't there. But Varane steps up. They play a forward too. That means the number 6 has to go in there to make the extra man up. When Varane steps out of the line, you have 2 defenders, right? In a back 4, your 2 centre-halves take 2 roles, usually 2 roles. There's not really many other roles apart from this. But there's a it might even be a written rule, but there's a rule, it's unwritten, but probably written. So maybe it's just a rule. If one defender goes, the other one has to drop 3 to 4 yards and cover both positions slightly. Now, think of Rio and Vidic, right? Vidic was the stopper, Rio was the cover. In the 2 that we've got now, realistically, Maguire should be the stopper and Varane should be the cover because Varane has the pace and Maguire does have the physicality. Sometimes those roles get reversed just by account of who's up in front of you. But when Varane steps up, Maguire needs to get across. And what he does is he steps forward as if to play him offside. As soon as he steps forward, he has no ambition and probably no hope of getting over to Che Adams to deal with anything that's going on. And then Luke Shaw's playing the entire line on onside. And he had just a fucking 0 out of 10 performance, man. Chobi says, can't agree with you, Steve. Not at his best, but the team played well, and once again, we can't score goals. Pressure builds on the defence when the forwards miss so many chances. Today, that's true. Today, that is true, that the forwards had the opportunities to get the game won and didn't. But the way Maguire comes out and speaks just baffles me. Ross, Shaw always plays people on. Shaw's defensive instincts are horrendously bad. Dan Oliver says, I think Varane was brought back too early from his injury. He had to play, though, and looks better game in game. He does, but I think it was an error today. And there's no problem calling out an error that someone makes. That's a rarity. But you see how many times Maguire was getting spun. I mean, the no-look attempt at a tackle earlier. Really? Talk to me what you're doing here as a defender. Like, where's the intelligence in this defending? It's non-existent. The Bilgy says I'd pay another 80 million to get rid of Maguire. You know what? I don't think you'd be on your own. What do I make of the comment De Gea made this week? So the one I saw on Twitter earlier was, this needs to stop now, doesn't it? Something along those lines. Yeah, I agree. Ross says, I want to see Maguire stripped to the captaincy and see if that'll change him mentally. It takes some balls to do it, but why not? Notch, how much is the board putting pressure on Maguire to be captain? I haven't heard, but I don't know. Dugout Dan says, is it possible Maguire is picked because of what's written in his contract with certain clauses? I'd be shocked if it was. Mossab says, agree on Shaw, Steve, but I do feel like the Maguire criticism is over the top and slightly unfair, almost as there's no one to blame. He's picked on to be the one to blame. I'm sorry, mate. Have you watched the last 3 weeks? Manchester United should have clean sheets, and in my opinion, you're entitled to disagree with me, in my opinion, we haven't kept those clean sheets because of the man who wears the captain's armband. And I'll tell you what pissed me off more than anything. I did mention this the other night, but I'll repeat it for anyone who missed it. What pissed me off the most with Harry Maguire is his attitude to blame other people. As captain of Manchester United, I demand some sort of accountability. And I think he would get a lot of credit by having that sort of accountability. And I also don't think it's great for the changing room for him to be a little bitch like he is. Like, Ronaldo's not played well. Rashford is not playing well. I think Sancho's played well the last couple of games. Outside of that, there's not many. I thought Pogba looked all right today. But there's not many players who are playing well week in, week out. Now, for Harry Maguire, 3 times to reiterate the forwards have to score more, the forwards have to score more, the forwards have to score more, when he was single-handedly responsible for losing 3 points for us midweek against Burnley, then that to me is ridiculous. And if I'm one of the forwards in that changing room, I'm trying to make eye contact with him, like, you got fucking something to say to me. No fucking captain. You're absolutely no captain. Red Rum Bollock says, Steve, I heard the news about Tielemans not willing to extend his contract. It means he's out in the summer. We should realistically be in for him, but no in our board. 100% would be looking to get Youri Tielemans in. Someone is about to pick up, more than likely Real Madrid, let's be honest. Someone could be about to pick up Youri Tielemans and Paul Pogba for their midfield, Rudiger for their defence, and Mbappe for their attack. Michael saying, single-handedly lost us points against Burnley. That's not even slightly true. I mean, it's literally 100% true. His abysmal defending led to the goal. He made 3 mistakes in one move, which they scored off. Had he not done that, United would have kept a clean sheet, which meant we would have won the game 1-0. Therefore, he lost us the 3 points. Do you need me to draw you a fucking picture? Alex said, I just saw a comment from Maguire this summer, saw Varane come in and was like, oh yeah, we're going to be a wall. Varane's got to do more work for both and that's dragging him down. Yeah. Saul says, if Real Madrid pick all of them up, they will be back to the pinnacle of Europe. It might take a little bit more settling in than that, but you would expect they'd quickly come in and deal with that, wouldn't they? And it was offside when Varane scored. Shouldn't a caretaker manager play in a way that suits the existing playing group instead of forcing a new system? He'll only be in the chair for half a year anyway. I think there's actually some merit to that. But I think he's also probably been brought in because of the way he plays. So he wants to come in and play the way he wants to play. And I think there's also probably some sort of indication where he wants the team to play this way because of who's coming in next, I think. Anthony says, this is like wondering why bus wheels aren't turning but kicking the tyres without seeing the engine's been stolen. Bolton says, why do I get aggressive when someone disagrees with me? I don't. I just said you're allowed to disagree with me. I mean, you can disagree with me, but you can't be provably fucking wrong and expect me just to agree with you. Saul says, I hope Real Madrid get back to the best. Need more teams to stop City winning the Champions League because we won't fucking do it. Correct. They could have a Casemiro, Tielemans, Camavinga midfield and potentially Pogba in there as well. Maguire is offside for free kicks and gets back onside too late. David Wilton says Jones is somehow better. Remon says we need the new manager to be a dictator and destroy the power centers in the locker room. I think there's something in that. I don't like that the fact that the players are out here saying, oh, do you know what? I want Pochettino. I think it'll be Pochettino, to be brutally honest with you. Ward-Prowse would be a good signing. Yeah, I like Ward-Prowse. Madrid and Barca's financial insanity has destroyed football. It really has, hasn't it? And also, Barcelona are $1 billion in debt and acting like they owe someone a fiver. Preem Prodigy says, we should be going for both Tielemans and Tuchememe over Rice, but this board is too dumb. Listen, bookmark this. Here's what I think is probably going to happen in the summer. I think it'll be Pochettino, and I think he'll get Declan Rice. And I don't think that improves Manchester United on either front. I think Declan Rice is a decent signing, and by all accounts, he's a great character, and he's a bit of a leader, and he's a good lad. My nana's a good lad. She shouldn't be in fucking central midfield for United, man. And if you've got to bring in Declan Rice, you're going to be talking £100 million, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. In my mind, and I might be getting on a bit, and there might be inflation reasons for it, but in my mind, a £100 million player should have me with my fucking pants off. A £100 million player should be a world-class leader that is excellent at his job, one of the top 2 or 3 in the world. Sorted. Viva Benga says, what's up, Battle Buddy? Who are you? What's your name? There's only 2 people call me Battle Buddy, for obvious reasons. Give me your first name. Steve, remember the Ollie out gang? Any decent manager wins the league with this team. Rice and Yuri on a free. Rice and Yuri on a free is better than Rice alone, granted. I really want to see Ruben Neves in a United shirt, man. He's made for us, I think. Why do I think the team selection is always so boring? No imagination, nothing new. I disagree with that. I think he's come in and he's tried things new. He's obviously tried different fullbacks. He tried different formation. Anthony Elanga has found himself part of the first team squad. You know what I mean? Hashim says Declan Rice will be the same mistake as Harry Maguire. I think he'll be better than Maguire, but I don't think he's the answer. Harry says get back Solskjaer or go to Egypt and talk to Carlos Queiroz. Why do I think the team selection is always so boring? That wasn't... Oh, I don't think it is, Is the Saul party over? I'd still get him. I might be completely fucking wrong on this one, but I'd still go get him. You'd also get him proper fucking cheap and all. And I think when he's cheap and there's no pressure on him, he's still a player. Here's the other thing as well, right? Sal Niguez can be shit. Sal Niguez can be shit and still decent. Does that make sense? He can come in, he can be shit for Chelsea and still be someone that actually starts for United. You'd get him cheap for a reason. Yeah, you would get him cheap for a reason. He's still better than what we've got. Chelsea's midfield is stacked. Yeah, he'd come in here and play. Simple as. On Skill says, hope Medjbri can get his chance like a Langer. I think he's gonna, Thoughts on Delow's awful crossing? I think he's learned how to defend and forgot how to cross. Do I think the players are taking the piss out of Ted Lasso? 1, I haven't seen Ted Lasso. 2, I've heard it's pretty good, actually. And 3, yeah, probably. By the way, did I watch Rooney's documentary? Oh, yes, I did. Woke up and watched it this morning. It was good, to be honest with you. It was good. Viva Banger's just banged in a super chat. What's your name? If you call me Battle Buddy, I want to know your name. Unless I've missed it. Have I missed it? Fucking 2 people that get to call me that. And you've dug holes next to me. Jed says Rooney Doc was good. Read that he didn't want Fergie involved. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Ted Lasso's a great watch, bit cringy, but in a good way. I like the main character that's in it. He's pretty good in stuff. By the far the worst post-Fergie season changed my mind. Ooh. Do I want to get into this? Well, right, go on then, lads. Pitch me for your worst post-Fergie season. Because even the one Mourinho got sacked in ended up all right, didn't it, with the run that we went on under Ollie and beating PSG? Which one? It could be this one. It could be this one because the expectation had raised and then it fell off again. The one after Moyes. Moyes season was... The Moyes season wasn't that bad. I mean, we still did all right in the Champions League. The league season was dreadful, granted. But there was this air of, it's only one season. We hadn't had nearly 10 years. Oh, my God. We hadn't had 9 years of it. It was the first season. Mosab says, has to be Moyes. We just weren't used to being shit yet. Football-wise, LVG. It got boring, didn't it? I actually wouldn't have minded what a third season looked like with him. Van Gaal. A lot of people saying Van Gaal. Yeah, but, we did win an FA Cup. The Moyes season was almost funny, says McLaren. Who is 68 Whiskey? Don't know. The Van Gaal one where we went like forever without scoring or even looking like scoring. It was brutal, that. 18-19 season. Jose sacked, embarrassed by Barca. Main rivals won big silverware and we finished 6th. But it had some moments, though. Had probably our best post-Fergie moment with the penalty against PSG. I mean, that was the best post-Fergie moment, wasn't it? Don't I read super chats? But yeah, I do if I see them. I mean, there's a lot of chat going on here. Can I get them up on there? Sometimes it doesn't always work. It says no super chats. Weird that. How much is Joe deadlifting these days? He did 170 kg the other day. Oh, Ashley Young's Cruyff turning the new camp. Mate, if anything epitomised what United have become post-Fergie, it's that, innit? Al Mackenzie says, what's the realistic answer to sorting United? If it's not Glazers out and Ten Hag, is there anything you think would sort us? I think it's got to be things along those lines, in all honesty. I don't know how we compete with the Glazers as owners. Because I don't think you've got owners going, don't care what it costs, go do it. I feel like we're trying to save money or justify spend in every single aspect of what we're doing. And that's not right. Clubs run like a preschool football team. It's probably not run that well. Apparently Joe doesn't know why people are asking about his deadlifting. Could be fun. Sensational. Oh, is that right? In our last 3 games, we've made 9.02 XG and scored 3. That can't be right. Any Paddock spare shirts left? We've got to get them all out first and make sure that they're all correct. Once everyone who's pre-ordered one's got theirs and happy with it, then we can sell what's left. There should be some left. Jash says, Moyes season has to be the most underwhelming, 100%. Did I see the food that we give out to the BT Sports staff? No. Wallin says, this year by far, losing to Liverpool 5-0. I mean, that was a particular low point because it felt like completely helpless, didn't it? London Geezer says United will get spanked by Atletico, the Bin Dippers and City in the next few weeks. I'd love to sit here and be like, nah. Well, will we see if there's spare shirts left? Keep an eye on all the socials. There will be a handful of the green and gold ones left, but it won't be long. It won't be many. So if you see them, you'll have to grip them. Is Hasenhüttl a candidate for the job? Now, people sort of joked when Ralph was hired that because he likes Hasenhüttl, there's half a chance of that. And everyone kind of wigged out, didn't they? And be like, no, that's going to be awful. But, I mean, he plays end-to-end football. There's no denying that. Atletico conceded 3 goals in 12 minutes tonight. Oh, did they now? That's interesting. Ashley says, I thought you said Donny wasn't good enough for the Prem. Created a goal, had the most tackles, aerial duels, and a good all-round game. Okay, great. Good for Donny. It's one game. Seen Peter Crouch score an overhead kick. And also, I never said that. I said, clearly, people aren't seeing anything in him if every single manager has benched him. Ralph says, you know what, Steve? I kind of remember when we were mint 2013 title. That's all that matters to me. Oh, it's fading though, innit? Like we said the other night when we were live the other night, and we're like, we're almost halfway to that 26 years. And I can remember thinking, like, my dad was 8, and now he's a bloke by the time that we win a title in 1993. He would have been 33, right? And that was from him being 8 years or 7 years old to 33. From when we didn't win the league. Now, I think we've seen so much glory in our lifetimes. Obviously, I was 28. Would I have been? Yeah. 28 when we last won the title. Oh, my God. 28 when we last won the title. But for 23 years of my life, I'd known nothing but success from United. And I think in no way in my mind do I ever think we're going to get to 26 years. But I didn't actually think we'd get to 10. And I look at us right now and I go, I actually don't know. I actually don't know if I see us winning one in the next 10. Nitin says, how many positions do we genuinely need next season? You definitely need a striker. I think you definitely need a centre-half. You probably need a fullback. And probably 2 midfielders. Yeah, is it a rebuild again? I think it is. And that's why I'm dead against spending 100 million on Declan Rice. Not because I don't rate Rice. I think he's good. And I hear great things about him and what he offers in the dressing room. But there isn't an unlimited amount of money. And I know we've spent a lot of money. But that's probably another reason why there isn't so much money for us to spend. Because we're going to have to cut our cloth accordingly, and we're going to have to maximise how many players we get in. Someone like Yuri Tillman on a free would be a sensational purchase for United because he goes straight into the 11 and improves the 11. Can we find 2 more players like him? Like, we managed to get Cavani for nothing. We managed to get Varane on the cheap. Get 2 more players like that, and you've still got some money for a mega signing. Now, I don't think it'll be Haaland. I can see him going Barcelona, Real Madrid. But what an absolute... maybe it's not Haaland, maybe it's Bellingham. But you would have the money for someone truly world-class, and you could spend that money on them then. But you've got to address that world-class £100 million signing. Unlike the way United have done it for the last 10 years, that world-class £100 million signing needs to be the cherry on the top, like Van Dijk was for Liverpool. You got to build the squad first. You got to go and get your cheap buys, your free transfers. You got to go and get your unknowns, the ones that have maybe failed in the Premier League before. You've got to go and get those buys that build you an 11. Or not even 11, you really need 15, don't you? So you've got to get the team built first, and then you bring in the last piece of the jigsaw. We're trying to bring in the last piece of the jigsaw and don't even have the shape of it yet. Did I see the Van Dijk interview a few days ago with Rio? No. I try not to watch those if I can help it. London Geezer says, I would take Bellingham all day long. Proper footballer. Bellingham would be crazy. I saw that if Poch gets the job, he'd bring Kane in, and I nearly threw up. Michael White says, I watched your MMA fight recently. Did we win? I didn't show the result. It was a draw, and it was under the rules where if you didn't finish, it was a draw. But I think if you watch it, I think a draw was a fair result. I was on top for a bit. He was on top for a bit. So a draw's fair. Mujahid says, no joke, if Pogba signs, you just know the board aren't getting a midfielder. And I think you go either way with him because I'm not sure he's going to get the offers. Why are people saying Tillman is free when he's still got a year left on his contract? Oh, is it a year following the summer? Okay, well, it'd be cheap then, wouldn't it? Billy Red says, let's get relegated. Championship away days. It'd thin out a lot of the fucking fluff in the crowd, wouldn't it? Hold On TV says, is Shaw's biggest issue the guys lining up next to him? Having to worry about what the guy next to you is doing has to play on your mind. Do you think he's thinking that deeply? London Geezer says, Steve, fuck Poch, fuck Kane. Yep. Tay says, can I ask why you're against Poch? He did an incredible job at Southampton and Spurs. Fucking did he? Aye. Right. Incredible. Ronald Koeman did a better job at Southampton. I'm sorry, that doesn't fit the narrative everyone's decided to go with, but it's true. He finished higher than him. I remember Sir Alex Ferguson, indeed, Prime League on the pocket. I think there might have been something lost in translation. I'm not sure what that means. Do I actually think the Glazers give Rangnick the power he needs to succeed? No. And sometimes it is power and not necessarily money. London Geezer says, Poch fans keep talking about his success at Spurs. How do you gauge success? Anthony Jarvis says, Jose was right about Shaw's positioning. Will Poch show players like Hannibal and Garner the door? I don't know. See, in my mind, and I don't think this is going to happen because it's too good to be true, in my mind, it really feels like we are on the cusp of having, potentially, a serious young generation of players. Now, line all of the dots up. And I might be seeing a picture that isn't there, but the dots are there, right? I might be drawing a different picture than the one that's actually there. But when you think, what does Hassan Hootel like? Sorry, what does Rangnick like? Well, what does Rangnick like? He likes players in their first or second contract. What does Ten Hag like? What does Ten Hag prove his success with? It isn't old heads. It really isn't old heads. It's young players that they've developed in the Ajax academies. Had some serious success with a lot of teenagers and a lot of young 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. What have Manchester United got a lot of at the moment? Well, the likes of Sancho, and even though Rashford's in shocking form, you've still got him, right? You've got your Rashfords, you've got your Sancho, you've got even someone like Scott McTominay as a squad player. But you've got Garner, you've got Levitt, you've got Laird, you've got Galbraith, you've got Hannibal, you've got Mengi, you've got Brandon Williams out on loan. Now, these guys might not make up your first 11, but if those are the second string, you can invest heavily into your first 11. You can bring in some serious, genuine talent in the first 11 and have the backup be the homegrown lads that you know are going to fight for the shirt and have got the right stuff and the right attitude. That's what I see as the dots. I see them lining up. When do you have issues? You have issues when players with egos think they should be in the team and they're not in the team. And that's what makes me think, are we lining up somebody like Ten Hag? Or is Ralph kind of doing it what he thinks? Or, you know, how much of Fletcher Murta in the mixer? Is Zidane good enough long term? We don't know. I think Zidane's got a serious amount of talent. Charlie McNeil. You got Charlie McNeil, you got Hugo, you got Zidane, you got Savage, you've got, you know, not all of these players will be good enough. They won't. Just sheer numbers wise, they won't be good enough. But some of them absolutely will be good enough to be squad players. And they save you 40, 50 million pound. 7 or 8 squad players at 30, 40, 50 million pound. It is 2 or 3 genuine top draw, top billing, world-class superstars. If you can just home grow them. And we can home grow them. When talking about Zidane there, are we talking about Zidane Iqbal or Zidane Zinedine. Because talking about Zidane Iqbal, Zidane's, you got Ahmad, you got Palestri, all of these players still. Like, the list is literally never ending with how many good players that we've got. Like I said, not all of them will make it. That's just mental to think that that's even possible. But if 30-40% of all of them lot make it, you've got the basis of your squad players. And one or two of them could force their way into the first team. Yeah, and you might have Kai Rooney and Ronaldo Jr. in a few years. Let's stand for something. Let's stand for being there is no... He was talking about Iqbal. Okay, cool. United haven't won a European Cup without homegrown players. Let's dangle that out there. 68, 99, 2008. Littered with homegrown players, all of those sides. So don't tell me that it can't be done. Barcelona won the Champions League with, I think, 8 of their starting 11 homegrown. Don't tell me it can't be done. It can be done. Let's stand for that. Because I tell you what, chasing the Galactico model doesn't work for Manchester United, or seemingly hasn't worked, or we seem incapable of fucking doing it right. It's not worked. Let's be about what we are about. Let's do youth, fucking courage and history. That's who we fucking are. No team has won a Champions League without homegrown players. Is that a fact? What about Chelsea? No, Chelsea even won it with homegrown players, didn't they? And Fat B says, you're dreaming if you think we can win anything with kids. Guys, just fucking give you the rules there. You literally only win with kids. Do I think we'd be better to invest like 200 million into club infrastructure? I've been screaming out for that. As soon as the Mbappe and Neymar fees got to be £200 million plus, these guys are a step off a curb away from having a career-ending injury. £250 million on a single athlete is insane. Now, they might have said this when it was £1 million, and they probably said this when it was £10 million, and 15 and £30 million. But £250 million on a single athlete is bonkers. That's 10, £25 million, but it's 5 £50 million players. Or it's investing so much money into your academy that it's going to work. Someone like Hannibal Mabry, we got him for 5 mil, rising to 10 mil. Let's invest into more like that. Was Ronaldo a mistake? I can't say he's a mistake. Charlie, I'm sorry I missed your super chat. Just write it again. I'll try and catch it. Came late, says Ash. Who's my best centre-back pairing? Varane and Lindelof currently. What was we talking about? Was Ronaldo a mistake? You can't say he's a mistake because without him, we'd be already out of the Champions League. He's scored some serious goals for us. He's on a drought at the moment, and he's not playing well at the moment. But no, I think it's him adapting to a new system and the players adapting to a system around him. And the striker who doesn't add much outside of that is probably, struggling as a product of that. The only reason Ronaldo came back was for shirt sales. I disagree with that. I mean, he's still our leading scorer. If Ronaldo hadn't signed, Ollie would still be in a job. How? Cavani, for as much as we all love him, 1, doesn't want to be here, and 2, has been here about 5 games or something. Yeah, and you don't know what he's doing, showing people the attitude that they need to have in training. Can you imagine what the attitude of some of them would be like if they didn't have Ronaldo here? What happened to our crossing game? Don't know. Did Ronaldo underestimate the standard of the league? I don't necessarily think it's the standard, because I don't actually think the standard of the league is that high. I think the intensity is a lot higher than he probably remembers. I think that we have to let Mengi and Deschamps have an opportunity because Maguire can't get worse, says Gabriel Marks. I definitely agree with that. Again, another one I forgot to mention in Tyler there, Deshaun Bernard. Smashing it. They're in love with him in Hull. Just putting in man of the match performances like it's nothing. Clean sheet for Mengi today. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm hearing Williams is doing bits at Norwich. Like, there's players out in there that belong to Manchester United. Now, they will not all... Janine's in the comments. Hi. They're not all going to win us Champions League on their own. But they can easily be the backup ones. Do I agree that the crossing ability of Delo is a myth? No, I wouldn't say it's a myth, but I would say it's been shit this season. Callum says, watched Bernard a couple of weeks ago and he was fantastic versus, was that Bournemouth? Was that? I lost it. Who sanctioned the appointment of the set piece coach? He's not having a good time, is he? Do you reckon he sleeps at night? Mate, I forgot about Ethan Laird. I didn't forget about Ethan. Ethan's just got to deal with his injuries, man. Who would I sell this summer? Fucking all of them. Is Janine my wife? Janine is the good lady wife, yes. The Bilgy says, Tillman, Neves, Haaland, just imagine, even Maguire couldn't stop us. He could. Slipwave says, I took Giggs' crosses for granted. Giggs' crosses were pretty shit and all, weren't they? His corners were shit. His corners were shit. I think let's be honest there. Just fucking smashing them in against first man. RH is in the comments. Happening our kid. Watched Garner the other day, says, against Blackburn, had a right game. Kid's a baller. Stevie86 says, get Kessie, Kamala on a free. Kamala's another one going on a free. Get Neves for 50 million. You should have £100 million for a striker and a centre-back. This is what it's about, man. Being smart. You can't just throw dosh at your signings. You got to try and pick up those smart ones. If you can get Kamala on a free, you've got a serious player there. Kamara. Anthony says, I know we can't talk about the case, but can we chat about losing a generational talent? No. I'm just not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it once it's been decided what's happening with him. Hensel says, I'm tempted to give in to Rooney and say you have 3 or 4 years. I think, here's the thing, right? Rooney needs to go and dominate in a league, and I don't think he's going to get the chance to do it in the Championship. I think he's going to keep Derby up, and he's doing a sensational job with it. I think he probably needs to be able to... I think he'll handle the pressure. I don't think that'll be a thing, but I think he needs to show that he can dominate with the ball as well. Any quick fixes for Rangnick? Now, see, okay, let's be sensible with this one. Let's group think this shit, right? Any quick fixes for Rangnick? Yeah. Bring Tellers and Lindelof back into the side. Does that mean we score more goals? Not necessarily, but you do have the ball-playing ability of Lindelof and Varane next to each other, which is better than what you're currently getting. Tellers' crosses has been a little bit more effective than Shaw's of late. The one redeeming factor that Shaw did have was that offensively was pretty good. At the moment, looks like you don't have a pot of glue what he's doing. So you bring Tellers in, you bring Lindelof in. I think Bruno and Pogba are starting to get it a little bit there, but off the ball, I still don't see enough work rate from the pair of them as a pairing. It might be drop Rashford and Ronaldo, and it might be go with Cavani and Alanga. It might also be a chance to give Charlie McNeil 5 minutes here and there. We are desperate for a striker. The kid's shitting goals in the academy. I think he's probably got more about him than Marcus had coming through the academy at his age, and Marcus came in and give everybody a lift. Cavani seems like he's broken. Put Charlie on the bench and see what the fucker's got, man. See what he's got. Do I think Pogba and Bruno are struggling defensively because McTominay doesn't do the 6 well enough? Yep. But I think they also just don't work hard enough defensively. Veron, bear in mind he was only second to Zidane, was 28 million. I don't understand football anymore. The exchange rate for players and the inflation of footballers has gone through the roof. Yeah. Ryan says, 12 goals, 2 assists in 17 games under Ollie and Carrick. 2 goals, 1 assist in 10 games under Ralph. What's happened to Ronaldo? Ralph is ruining him. I don't think he's ruining him. I think what you've got to look at is there is a different style of play being imparted on the team now, and therefore on Ronaldo. And I think that Ollie probably very much set up to have Ronaldo score, whereas right now I think Ralph's setting us up to be a much better functioning football team. And I know people are like, fucking really? Yeah, really. Like, in terms of the XG, we are a more solid team and we are creating more chances. What we're not doing is finishing them. But the progression is there. The progression's actually there more than it's been all season. Pogba and McTominay were left 2v4 in midfield. Sancho, Bruno and Rashford not tracking back. Again, I agree. What do we do with Jimmy next season? You put him in the squad, and even if that's off the bench, there you go. Who's better on free kicks, Messi or Beckham? Beckham. Ronaldo was the only one benefiting from the 4-2-2. Maybe. Does anyone want to see Bruno play up top? Maybe, actually. Just seeing a comment there. Pogba on the left, the way Ollie played him, not the worst idea. But the problem is we don't have any midfield. We really have no midfield. Notch says this time next week, pub quiz of quizzes will be getting mental and life will be good again. Yep, this time next week we will be live with the rundown. If you want to know what the rundown's all about, make sure to check out the Patreon group in the description. It's the original Post Loops back. I think it's Laura and Simone. I'm not sure which lads are on at the moment. Janine, do you know which lads are on? Comment if you do. Do I think United need to invest in other places such as club facilities and specialist coaches to compete with the likes of City, says Juju. Yes. Sancho is better off the left. Kylon says Beckham better than Messi on free kicks. How? Because he's better on free kicks. Saul says you probably didn't, but did I watch the fan cams today? No. And he said, stop giving Maguire flack. It was Ralph's fault. This is why I don't want to do fan cams anymore. Would the mood around the fan base be different if these 1-1s and 2-2s were actually wins? Yeah, of course they would. Ultimately, it's a results business, isn't it? Oh, well, I've hardly touched this one. Actually, brought me another one. I have 2 rums in now. I think that's a message in it. I better get drinking. My 3 signings for the summer, we'll definitely be doing that properly in the summer. Do we think Lindelof is not playing because of the burglary? Possible. Why do we look so slow as if we're playing on sand? I don't know. Do I think if Poch was Norwegian, he'd be so highly rated? Don't see what's special about him. Doesn't even play good football. I mean, he's got Mbappe shitting goals and assists at the moment at PSG and still isn't really fizzing for him, is it? We haven't scored more than 3 goals in any game under Ralph. See, this is it. What Ralph's done is he's tried to break us. Tellers isn't good, Steve. You just like him because he's not sure. Yeah, correct. What's your point? What Ralph's doing is breaking us down and building it back up from the ground as a fully functioning football team that does it all. Akib says, what do I think? Will Hannibal get a chance in the upcoming matches? Maybe 10 minutes or so. Yes, I think he will. I'm on Diplomatico tonight. Could Jones do a job in DM next to Pogba? Come on, man. Given the clear fragility in our mentality, do I think playing at home serves a disadvantage? I don't think so. Steve, my favourite United-related commentary line. Can Man United score? They always score. No, full steam ahead Barcelona. And also, my favourite celebration come from the Barcelona game that season as well. Andy Cole just fucking bobbing his head running off into the corner. Oh my God, take me back when we were that good. Think we'll ever see that again? Winning 3 fucking trophies in one season. Why is it when the game matures, it feels like every United player is miles apart from each other? I don't fucking know. Why is Rashford playing on the right? I don't know. Alex Bailey says, I watched 98-99 Premier League years yesterday, had tears in my eyes. Notch says, and Wilkins has curled one in, and that's absolutely magnificent. I don't even know what game that's from. What is that off the radio and all? I bet that's off the radio, innit? You're well old. John says, any manager needs time to make changes, which nowadays rarely happens. It doesn't happen. James McCormick says, all roads lead to Rotterdam. Someone tagged me in Hughes' goal today. Oh, it's so good, isn't it? Have I had some stories about Shaw and how he is off camera? Yes. At least the games were fun under all it. See, that's why I'm almost tempted to not say. I'm almost tempted to not say the Moyes season was our worst season, because it actually was. It was fun. It was fun. Why do we play so many low percentage vertical passes? That's something Ralph wants. There's definitely something Ralph wants. What do I think of Valverde for permanent manager? I don't know enough about Valverde to have. Alex Bailey's got Bruce. Yes, for Manchester United. Alex Ferguson can't believe it. They're on the pitch. Was that the Sheffield Wednesday game? I was on Ayers Road at the time. My dad left early, the knob. So we only saw it at 1-1. Andy Gray commentary when Rooney scored the late winner at Craven Cottage 06-07. Oosh. Has anyone got £5 bill laying around? That's probably some fucker in an NFT, I bet. Here's the problem with, let's just say we had £5 bill lying around between us. It doesn't mean they'll sell. It's not like Tesco's. You can't just walk in, stick it under your arm, and then march to the counter, bosh it on the conveyor belt, and just give them £5 bill and be like, right, fuck off, and never come back. You got to ring them up and be like, right, give you £5 bill, and they go, no. You go, oh, fuck. Right, that was me. That was the only idea I had. Fucked it. What are we going to do now? Shaw plays backwards unless he has pressure on him. It's a mindset. I just don't rate him in the slightest. Bezos has got it under his bed. Bezos had to pay like fucking 10 times that, and he's divorced, didn't he? Who's going to take one for the team and get his ex-missus in the mixer? Why don't United like getting players on loan? We could have salvaged the season even if we didn't spend. I don't know if it's just a status thing why United don't seem to take players on loan. I mean, how many can you remember that we've had? Falcao and Henrik Larsson. Have we had any more than that? Do I think they would actually ever sell? Yeah, I'm sure they would. They're businessmen at the end of the day. When are we moving to fan ownership? I'm hoping it'll be in place before next season. So that's Stretford Paddock, we're moving to fan ownership. There's some stuff at play which makes this complicated, but it'll be happening. Alex says, so realistically and ethically, who buys United? Nobody. I don't even think Elon Musk, right? I don't know if anyone ethically, I mean, Jeff Bezos, right? Okay, created a mega website. How many small businesses has he killed? Ultimately, at the end of the day, he's probably the most ethical billionaire until someone in the comments goes, well, actually, did you know this? And no, I fucking didn't know that, right? From what I can gather, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk do seem to be the most ethically loaded people that are out there. Outside of that, I think every billionaire has done something a bit fucky or smushed someone they shouldn't have smushed. How do you make $1 billion? Ryan says Conor McGregor could ball us by a small percentage, but not enough to make a difference. He's not even going to get voting rights, although I think they've actually started doing some voting rights now, haven't they? Larsson was mint. 25 minutes behind, but Hassan Hüttl's a great coach and showing he never gives up, no matter how bad it gets. Yes. See, there we go. Michael Davis says, Jeff is one of the worst. I mean, does he kill people? Do you know what I mean? Is he one of the worst? Really? I don't know if he is. Maybe a group of United fans can have the cash to buy from a consortium. I think there's always been a couple of consortiums of United fans, but they've never managed to get it together to be able to put a bid in. Saudis are our only hope, says Lee. I mean, are we talking about ethics here or not? by not paying taxes. So is that all Bezos has done? Well, he wants to pay fucking taxes if you can get away with not doing. You know what I mean? Do I think Rangnick has the balls to sack off the egos and strip Maguire? If he strips Maguire of the captaincy, oof, fair fucking play. Bo Carr says, I have it on good authority, so this is a lie, but let's read it for a laugh. A Japanese company is inquiring about a United purchase. Sound. Let's find out if they're any good then. What about Bill Gates? I mean, I actually don't know how Bill Gates is so loaded. Who the fuck's buying Windows computers? Cavish says, surely the idea of winning trophies and proper investments will increase profits. Yeah, you'd fucking think, wouldn't you? Too much debt to sell? Nah, United make too much money. United make so much money that if you didn't need to be paying the banks at the crazy interest rates that we're paying them back at, like, you would have made your money back and sorted your loan out. Not a drama. Not a drama. Gates sold Windows ages ago. Did it? See, I don't fucking know. I mean, ethical billionaire is a contradiction in itself. Yeah, probably. I mean, is there none? Yeah, Radcliffe bought Nice, but for the right price, would he be interested? I did try and reach out to Jim Ratcliffe. So Jim Ratcliffe is this billionaire that has recently just got in the mix with Nice, obviously, but he was rumoured for ages and giving interviews about wanting to buy United. I reached out to him and just got pied. But I'd have asked him. I'd been like, I would have been persuasive with it as well. I'd have been like, oh, come on, fuck these lot off. You know what I mean? Matthew, didn't Jeff give his ex-wife 50 billion because he felt she deserved it? Does she fancy playing around? Yeah, okay, there you go. What about Jeff Bezos' ex-wife? Is she an ethical billionaire? United need to drop 2 divisions for the Glazers to sell and never do it. I actually think like 4 or 5 years outside of it. Someone said Donald Trump, shut up, you lunatic. Fulham's owner is an ethical billionaire or close to. Who is it? Is it Al Fayed still? Apparently she's not. I don't know if she's not. I mean, fucking hell, what's she ever done? Took one for the fucking team by marrying Jeff Bezos, and you know what I mean? I mean, did she help? But I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about her. Could a potential owner be worse than the Glazers? Yeah, 100%. Imagine you got Mike fucking Ashley. Bosh, it becomes the fucking Sports Direct Arena, Old Trafford. We're selling them big bastard mugs all over the gaff. Yeah, we'd absolutely... Like, the Glazers have absolutely rinsed us. Rinsed us. But Mike Ashley did it to a whole other level. Fergie did it with the remnants of the old regime. Fergie struggled with maintaining that competitiveness and held it together. Did I see Jake Humphrey's lunch given to him by United that he tweeted? Shows out a touch United or a club our thoughts. Bring your own fucking lunch. How about that for a thought? Or why don't BT make you your fucking lunch? It's the same as all the fucking press lot. You cheeky bastards get so lucky to go and watch the game for free and complain about the free lunch that you get. Nah. Sort your own fucking lunch out. Glenn says, anyone buying United will only care about the brand. Fan ownership, the only way forward. You do need an absolute... Now, this is legend of all fucking legends. Go get someone who's just a fucking turbo billionaire and then give it them back. Cannot be a billionaire without being an egotistical narcissist. What if you? All right. What if you divorce someone, and that's how you get your money? Or what if you find it in pirate gold in the Caribbean? Patrick says, let's be honest, Fergie got lucky with the teams he had. Lucky? Really? I'd like to see him win the league in today's game, not even reach top 4. Really? Fergie was outspent in all by like 4 of his seasons. Billionaire that loves winning would be a good start. A billionaire that's just a fan. A billionaire that's just a fan would be an excellent start. I'm not... Do you know what? I could say... I can make a sweeping statement and say most billionaires are probably a little bit fucked. I'm not going to say there is no ethical billionaires. There's got to be one. Surely there's one. Being a billionaire is unethical. I see. There's a meme kicking about the place, isn't there? Like you're not allowed more than 999 million. Anything that you make over 999 million, you get a fucking T-shirt that says "I won capitalism," and you get fucking schools named after you, right? Could you spend 999 million? Or what about? All right, fuck it. You can have 10 bill. No one gets to 11. But you get to decide what your money goes to. So let's say you got 10 bill in the bank. You go, do you know what? I'm worth 11, or I should be worth 11. So I have to give $1 billion in tax, and I'm building a swimming pool for puppies. Wait, Bokar says, going back, the company is involved in everything from cam girls, gambling, and a couple of gotcha games. The owner is a somewhat unethical billionaire, unfortunately involved also in whaling. Is this a Japanese company? That's going to be an absolute fucking shitstorm when that happens, doesn't it? Right. If anyone's a billionaire in the chat, you have to say so. How much do I think the Glazers would be prepared to sell? I don't think they would. I think they've had the opportunities. Can you own 2 Premier League clubs at once? I don't think you can own more than 9.999% in a second one, I believe. That might have changed, but that was the rule at one point, because Sky owned, when the Sky B takeover was going ahead in like 98, they owned like a small percentage of Leeds and a small percentage of Liverpool and a small percentage of Arsenal and a small percentage of like someone else. And they had like 9.9% of United, and they wanted to make it more, but they weren't allowed to invest any more in any of the others. Looks like we've got billionaires in the chat. Probably not, though. Let's be right here. It's an ego thing for the Glazers. It is, but wouldn't you want it to be something that's actually fucking doing well? So Barry says, I think Fleming is a billionaire. How? R. for Paddock and Football Manager. Yes, there's a geezer that did all the way down to our level, so you can technically go manage us. And from a couple of people that spoke to us, because some of the players that we knew were already on the game, we're fucking unreal, apparently, in Footy Manager. I can't wait till the day that we're actually officially in it, though, because it'll happen. We're doing it. So Thomas says, get Rio on the NFTs. Rio's already into the NFTs. Flamini invested in biotech. We'll fucking check him out then. Joe says he's 150 quid short of a billionaire. That close, mate. Hold on says, surely Mr. Beast buys us and gives the club away. The last guy that takes their hand off Old Trafford. Yeah, let's do that. Why don't United buy other clubs and a United support sports group with lots of feeder clubs around the world? Because they've zero ambition to do anything whatsoever at all. We had all of that in place. We were one of the right pre-Glazers. Manchester United were cutting edge in so many different things. We had the link up with Gothenburg. I think there was with a club in Ireland. The Antwerp link was well known. I think we had a link with Quinton Fortune's team, or a team he worked with down in South Africa. We'd started to put these links in place, and I believe the De Silva twins was part of a link-up that we got with Flamengo. I could be wrong on that one, though. United has started to put this shit in place 22 years ago. And Manchester City are doing it now with the Melbourne. They've got a team in Uruguay, maybe. They've obviously got Girona. They've got New York. They have one in Brazil. Like, United had started to do all this stuff already. But now, the Glazers came in and they killed the women's team, man. And I know some of you probably don't care about the women's team, but why shouldn't Manchester United have a women's team? Why shouldn't fucking women be allowed to represent Manchester United? Like, that's how much of a penny-pinching operation that they did when they came into it. What the fuck? They killed all of that sort of stuff. And all of those link-ups died. And Antwerp and that was a good opportunity for us to identify players that were coming through. It was a good opportunity for us to go and get them loans elsewhere. There's so much you could do. There's such a sort of appearance of competence going on. And it just isn't true. And we were the biggest club in the world before them. There is a graph, right? And I talked about making some graphics out of it, but it was really fucking difficult to put together. But in a nutshell, like the 10 years before the Glazers came to United, United was just shitting cash. And look at the signings we were making, just going boom, 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 boom. And we were still making like obscene levels of profit. They came in, the profit went fucking gadoosh, and we stopped spending. Until 2013 when Fergie left and they realised that they might have to spend. But those 8 years of underinvestment fucking done us. They absolutely twisted us up. That 8 year of underinvestment, the divestment from the bank refinancing costs, and then what Manchester City had poured into them, fucking disgrace. And I know you can compete without that necessarily. Liverpool have managed to do that. But fucking hell. We ran backwards. What did the Glazers do to shag the profit? They basically got us on a fucking payday loan. We paid 1.6 billion back, and we still owe virtually all of the capital that they took us out with. Akib says, hey Steve, asking you a serious question. Suppose you'll become a billionaire next month. Oh, about fucking time. I'll say that for free. I get 2 options. And then he ain't give me the other options. Give me the full options. Could Manscaped buy United? I don't know. They only sponsor us. They don't sponsor anyone else, don't they? But you know what most people will say, Steve? We spent the most in the Premier League, which is bollocks. Yeah, we haven't. We spent the most in the last 10 years. Is there a genuine reason the academy still play at League? Yeah, because we haven't got an academy stadium in this fine old city of fucking Manchester. That's why. Am I going to really fucking build a stadium before Manchester United do? What the fuck is that all about? We owe £250 million in transfers. Yeah, and we owe like 500 million off the original £660 million debt that they took out in 2005. What sort of crackhead level of accounting is it where you take that 660 million, pay 1.6 billion off it, still owe 500 million, and have also managed to rack up 250 million on a credit card? Mental. Absolutely mental. It shouldn't have been legal either. The legacy fans need to vote with their feet and boycott. No, they don't. Because there was about 2,000 Man United fans that left and formed FC United and never came back. They don't care. Peter says, our stadium is rusting and through paint, and they think, okay, we're going to expand the stadium. Yep. Chelsea are champions of the world. Could be worse. We're not Arsenal. I mean, aren't Arsenal above us currently in the league? As much as I want to rinse Arsenal, like, let's have a bit of fucking perspective here, man. I think we spent badly, more so than not spending 210 million for Maguire, James, Donny, and Wan-Bissaka. Bad business, yeah. A lot of that. Who's signing off these? I was there today and the atmosphere was dead and toxic. Dwayne says it'll take at least 5 billion for the Glazers to sell, maybe more. Yep. What level on the pyramid are Paddock, and could we get into Division 2 before United win the league? No, we're gonna, hopefully, if everything goes to plan, I'm hoping that we bob around like step 4, something like that, which will be like level 7, level 8 on the pyramid. That'll do us. To get anywhere beyond that, it's going to start costing millions and millions and millions of pounds, and we're not going to have that because we're going to be a fan-operated club. You know, we're going to do all right generating a little bit in sponsorship. Hopefully, people come and watch us, and that will keep that club afloat. But we're not going to throw loads of money at players. That's not going to happen. And we hope to be. I hope that the first team's just an advert for what we can produce in the academy. And I want to produce players for United. That's what I want to do, and I want to give players a second chance in football and move them back up into the pyramid. We've done that already from a standing start, and I think as we do that a little bit further up, we'll do well with that. But that's where we'll be, somewhere in and around there. Somewhere in and around there. You know, we'll not be looking to go any higher than that. And if to expect to go higher than that, you've got to spend some serious wonga to do that. Hopefully, we move into step 7, step 8 next season. And then it's a case of, have we got the correct facilities and are we competitive enough to be able to move into the North West Counties? And it starts getting serious then. We end up in the FA Cup and that sort of stuff. And that, I don't think people realise how good some of the players are. Like, most of the players that play for us have had some sort of academy experience. You know, they were considered good enough to be professionals at some point in their careers. You know, Eddie, who plays centre half for us, literally played with Marcus and Scott McTominay and Joe Riley and Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, all those guys coming through. You know, and now he plays for us. Like, I don't think people fully get just how fucking good the level is here. And, you know, we play quite good football. It's not the norm. Like, a lot of clubs are just looking for those 50-50s, and I'll be honest with you, we struggle with that. We definitely struggle with that physical. You know, we struggle against low blocks, and we struggle against teams that are just pumping it and going physical. No one really starts to string passes together. I mean, we must have had 70+% possession today. Waleed says Hamza's a good player. Hamza's a hell of a player. Yeah. Hamza's a hell of a player. Technical ability wise, fucking annoys the shit out of me with how little he tracks back. But, you know, yeah, Ronaldo played with Trent. Ronaldo that plays for us was literally the same academy team as Trent coming through. You know, there's some serious fucking talent in it. Did the Paddock players get a wage? No, they pay subs. They literally pay subs. I don't think people could understand what the crack is at this level. It's madness. Shane says we could do worse. We're getting Brandon back to play left back. You know what he's going to do. How far have I got in my coaching qualifications? I'd like to get to UEFA A level. I know the waiting times to get on that sort of stuff's extremely difficult. I did actually get accepted onto a coaching masters at a place that I honestly would have died to go to, but I just couldn't afford to do it. I got accepted onto a coaching masters at the Cruyff Institute, and I nearly fucking died when I did, but I just can't afford to send myself to go. I also have to spend several weeks in Amsterdam, which would have been a sensational experience, but, you know, having a family and all that lot, it's just not feasible. Maybe I'll do it one day, but I did get accepted. That was the start last month, actually, but I had to decline it. I was a bit good about that, like. Callum says, at that level, there is a much younger following at non-league because it's affordable, which makes it far better for the younger generation. So, Beatty's played SE Dons. That's Sunday League, right? But if you look, one, at the demographic, and two, at the age range of the players that was checking those out, it was a sensational thing. You look at United's crowd, it's very mid-40s. That's a lot. Like, you look at how many people... You look at how many people get to go to the match with their mates, and it's just non-existent. And I don't think that should be the case. I think there should be, I think there should be more football going with your mates. Now, one thing that we're going to do with the football team, so the first team, once we get into North West Counties, they'll probably be paid a little bit expenses. Certainly won't be a livable wage. It's usually just a little bit of petrol money and maybe a bit of a tickle, win bonus, that sort of stuff once you get into the North West Counties. But one of the things that we want to do literally from a business perspective is, around Manchester there's a couple of clubs. I'm not going to name the clubs. You can figure out one of them. I'm not going to name the other. Junior clubs these are. What these junior clubs offer, one of them's got a big pathway into the professional clubs, United especially. You'll definitely have heard of it. And another club you won't have heard of, but they're probably the best coached football team in Manchester. And they don't have a home. They're a bit of a wanderers. So you might be the coach, I might be the coach. I'll take them and play on my local pitch, and you might play on your local pitch, and they might be 10 miles apart. But we're still called the same thing. I might have the under-14s, you might have the under-12s. And they'll be called the same thing. Now, those players pay a little bit more in subs than this club and this club and this club. But what they do with that money is they pay coaches. So most coaching is voluntary. And most coaching is shit. But what one of these clubs does, which is a business model we're looking to replicate, is they charge a tiny little bit more on subs, but that pays for the coach. So the coach is going to be paid. And it means that young lads that have got ambitions of being full-time coaches, so it's not someone's fat dad, that's the coach. Michael's named one of them. It's not this one. It's not going to be someone's fat dad who's got no interest in being a coach, but it's going to be a professional coach, someone working on their B license or their A license that wants to work in professional football one day. And they might have 3 or 4 clubs, so they could end up maybe making pretty much a wage out of doing this. And we'll be paying we'll be paying coaches to coach your under-12s, your under-13s, your under-14s, your under-15s, which means that you'll be getting and paying for a better standard of education for your kids. What I'm also going to do is pay for those coaches to bring your kids to come and watch our first team, because I strongly believe football is not a TV program. And I think these kids should go and experience watching football together as a collective. So that's something that we're going to be looking to doing. And we plan on having 100 teams, which is 1,600 junior players, which, let's say we manage to get 50% of those at our home games, you're starting with 800 people in the ground. You know, which means that with the fans that we've already had come down already, we might be seeing over 1,000 people be watching Paddock games. And I think for a club as a community to see all of the juniors there and the juniors to have a bit of a connection to going on to the first team, that's what I want to build. I want to build a community club. I almost don't really give a fuck about what goes on with the first team. As soon as we get into the non-league pyramid, we're building a club. If you've got a young boy or a young girl, you can't take your boy or girl to go and play for City or United, right? You can't just knock on the door at Carrington and be like, £5 a week subs, yeah? You can't do that. What does pay subs means? That's your monthly subscription or whatever it is. Subscriptions is what it means. So that's your training fees or whatever. You can't take your little boy, your little girl, to go and play at United. So where do you take them for the best education as a footballer? I want to put it in place that we have a junior grassroots academy that's got experience moving players into professional football at both ends of the spectrum. So I want to take the 19 and 20-year-olds that have been released from clubs, put them into our first team and move them back up the pyramid. I want to take the 6 and the 7 and the 8 and the 9-year-olds, and I want those players to be taught what's going to be expected of them when they get into an academy and prepared to be able to go on and succeed. And I want it to be when, I just want the place to be littered with scouts because they know that this is the place that we're going to do. Do I think that we can develop those kids into professional players? Yeah, I do. I genuinely do. Because I think the way it is run at the moment is so fractured and so much based on luck, and I don't think it needs to be based on luck. And I think you can do... I think you can professionalize what's going on in a lot of ways, and take some of the guesswork out of it a little bit. Lewis says, Steve, are we playing a sports village in Salford? The grass pitches are the worst. Shocking. Luke says, will I always be Paddock manager, or look for someone with more experience the higher up we go? I want to coach in the FA Cup. As soon as I've done that, I'm out of here. And I'll leave it to someone who wants to be a manager full time, because I don't. How much untapped potential do I think there is in the Manchester area? A fucking hell of a lot. An absolute hell of a lot. Go Stop Go says, great philosophy. Good luck. Thank you. Any liaison in between Paddock and hashtag? Yes, a little bit. What made you get into this plan? Fuck knows. I actually couldn't tell you. I think it's just, we start the project, you see where the project goes. Listen, you fuckers haven't seen the half of what's in the plan at the moment, and I am scared to tell you because I half don't believe it myself. Just watch this space, is all I'm going to say. Dan United says, is there anything you need for Paddock someone could offer voluntarily? Probably, yeah. As soon as we start getting into... Hopefully we're back at Droylsden again soon. We're going to need a lot of work there. Donny was good for Everton today. I believe so. I'm going to check it out. How far below FC United are Paddock in the leagues? Are FC United in Northern Prem? So I believe they're step 3. They would be 6 leagues higher than us. We played a team 5 leagues higher than us. We played Ramsbottom in a friendly, and we lost 2-0. I was very impressed with the lads. Any chance of getting Rio to invest? We won't have into the team. Look, there's stuff going on. Rio's not involved in any way, by the way. If anyone thinks when I say there's stuff going on, there's not with Rio. There's stuff going on. But the first team will be completely fan-owned. I campaigned for it with the Glazers. I fucking hated the way we are run by the Glazers. I think there's a better way. I'm not 100% sure that fan ownership is the 100% way to do this, but I'm committed to doing it, so we'll find out. Can I come from Australia to play for Paddock? Yeah. If you could, it's 35 quid a month subs. You get a nice training kit. I hope you've got a job. Rise says, I would like to see Paddock play FC United. If it would happen, I'll travel up from London to watch. They'd fucking muller us at the minute. They would absolutely muller us at the minute. I think we can make games be competitive, but we're going to fucking lose. When we get big enough to build a stadium, what will you call it? Honestly, I think... boringly, it'll be called after the area. And maybe I've given away a bit more than I needed to there. New Trafford. Our Paddock coming to London. We have no current plans to. Lee says, I'd love to be in your position of knowledge regarding... I don't know anything at the moment. Can I tweet Paul Merson to shut the fuck up? Is it necessary? Hensel said, would love to come and watch a Paddock game when I'm in Manchester for a Man U game. We are hoping to be having some games. I'm hoping to have at least 2 games this season to close the season out. This year at Droylsden. If I can do that, then everyone is more than welcome to come down. And it's free entry. I imagine we will be free entry probably the next 2, possibly 3 leagues, and after that it'll be a different one, I think. Janine's just sent me someone's super chat. Let me just read it out. Because Janine's just sent me a crying, laughing face. Curious to know how you get the time to do videos, coaching, run a company, handle fatherhood. Does all these drive you crazy sometimes? There's a reason. I'm a fucking lunatic, my mate. John, exciting times with the Paddock there is. John's a little bit privy to some of the stuff that's going on. And I would definitely agree it's exciting times. Would Maguire start for Paddock? And I mentioned this the other day, right? I don't want to throw Oatsy under the bus. Oates is our club captain. Oates is a centre-half that plays for us. But in December, Oatsy did something, and I fucking annihilated him in front of the whole team. Said, this is absolutely 100% not fucking good enough. And then Maguire did it the other day. Now, if it's absolutely 100% not fucking good enough for someone to do it in my level, how the fuck is it acceptable for Manchester United to do it? DB Cooper says, aren't you a millionaire? No, millionaire, not billionaire. Who's the cutest Paddock presenter excluding myself? Fucking Baggers as a sexy boy band vibe. Housewives' favourite, it's either Baggers or Jordan, isn't it, I think? Kassam says, when are you planning a friendly with SE Dons? Right. I'll tell you the fucking truth, right? Because I don't do lying. It's not what I'm about. SE Dons were due to play us at Earlham. It was booked. I can get the date for you if you wish. And they shit out on it. Now, the reason that they shit out on it was because they didn't have their sponsor on their shirts in time. But they got on Twitter and said that we bottled it playing them. Here's the fucking truth. You're a fucking Sunday League team that hasn't heard of defending and would get chewed up and spat out by us. I don't bottle it from playing anyone. I've been playing teams that are featured in the FA Cup this year that play at step 4. I played Macclesfield. We got twatted. I don't bottle it from playing people. I test ourselves. And I certainly wouldn't bottle it from playing a lot of fucking helmets off YouTube that play Sunday League football. You know what I'm saying? Clear? What's my response to people who say Ronaldo is the problem? You're assuming that we replace him with fucking Haaland or something, or a prime Van Persie, but we're not. He would just not be in there. Mag says, a bit of a difference between playing Premier League players and tier 10 players. There is. Locust says, won't make it over from the US to watch Paddock before the end of the season. When will next season start? Same time as United's does. We've got 6 games left, which means that we're very likely to finish our season by the end of March. Has Oatsy learned from it and not done it again? Oatsy's been very good the last 2 games, actually, to be fair to him. Very good the last 2 games. He was good today. And we kept a clean sheet today, which United didn't do. Do we have a Bruno problem? I don't think so. I think it's another player that's looking to adjust to stuff. Who would I like more, Haaland or Mbappe? Haaland. Thoughts on De Gea today? Less than 50%. I think his shot stopping abilities has gone back up to its best, its prime. But his distribution is an issue. Where are we? Lost where I'm up to. Gabrielle says, would it be a smart idea to put Wan-Bissaka as CDM or as a centre-back? No. Look, he could probably do the defensive screening side and covering really well at centre mid, but you've got to be a baller to play centre mid, and he ain't a baller. He has so much time. Like, fullback is the player with the least amount of pressure on him. Just they're crossing the halfway line, they're usually just looked at. No one closes them down. Everyone sort of leaves you to it. You're like 25 yards away from people, and he still trips up over his own feet. To be a good number 6, you've got to be a fucking baller. Robert says, rising ballers versus Paddock. I think that's one that we can make happen. Again, here's the thing, right? Loads of people ask us to go be on camera with this guy, this guy, this guy. I'll only ever be on camera with people I respect. Okay? That's it. If I don't respect you, I won't have anything to do with you. NWA Chopper says, good to catch you live. And Kassam says, love these longer ones. I don't mind doing these a bit longer, to be honest, when we get the opportunities to. Late night's usually an opportunity. Sahaj says, where's that gone? Lost it. I noticed the same mistake we made against Liverpool between Maguire and Shaw. One gets dragged, the other follows, leaving spaces. Armstrong should have scored. They're annoying, aren't they? Do you think we should get rid of Maguire and Shaw this summer? Yes, but I don't think we will. How do I think Paddock compares with the Welsh Premier? Well, one of our players left to play Welsh Prem. So I can't imagine there's too much difference, in all honesty. He went and played for Kevin Druids, who I think are bottom of the league, but still. Scholes went in on Bruno again, so he keeps leaving the midfield position and playing wherever he wants. I can see that, to be fair. Do I think Russia will invade Ukraine by the end of the week? I'm not sure, you know. Jason Brown says, you're not Prem, you're just a YouTuber. Well, fuck me, here was he thinking I was a fucking Premier League centre-half. I have to cancel tomorrow's plans. David says, love the videos you did about the loanees. Thank you, our kid. David says, I see Mengi led and Ghana in our first team next season. Yeah. We paid 50 million for Wan-Bissaka. We did. We got to live with that one. Paddock versus Under the Radar. Yeah, again, I got no issue with those guys. They seem sound. Why do people assume selling and getting rid of players is so easy? It's not a footy manager. Yeah. It's a massive drama, innit? Is to get rid of those, innit? How do we get rid of the owners and the board? Fuck knows. Did I say that De Gea said he doesn't know what's going on? Yes. Who will be the manager next season? I think it'll be Poch. And I don't like that. Paddock versus Tintos. Aren't they in our league? Or the league below us or something? Who would I choose as captain? See, that's the problem, man. It's so difficult to choose Reece Armstrong. Is that a Royal Engineers badge as your logo? This is the problem, is deciding who to choose as captain is one of the reasons why Maguire's ended up with it in the first place. Where's my fucking rum gone? Am I watching Is It in Whittaker fight? Yes, I will be. It's about 2 hours and it kicks off. A few years ago, you were talking about Roshan Williams and Axel, another centre-back with great potential. Do you know what happened to him? I think Roshan could find his way back in to the Premier League, maybe. Axel's is just injuries. Notch says, what time is the open top bus parade through Droylsden High with a trophy in 3 weeks? We got to win it yet. I make us as outsiders at the moment. We just got to keep stacking the wins up, and We got to hope that the opposition drop points. They've got 4 games left. If they drop points and we win all our games, we're champions. But they have to drop points. I think they're capable of dropping points, but they have to still drop them. So it's out of our hands, and that's our fault because we should have boxed it off back in December, and we didn't. We played like shit. Gary says, hate the fact I'm trying to get my 9-year-old boy to love this club. It's not the same as when we were young. Fucking hell, yeah, that's rough, innit? What we're saying about Mengi, miles better than Slabhead. He's still got a couple of errors in him, but I think his errors are much more, like, they're a bit more sort of acceptable errors. They're young person, enthusiastic errors rather than just what the fuck is that you're doing sort of errors that the £80 million club captain's making. Do I think we're making subs too late when chasing a game? I don't think so. No. Ask Rio what Fergie would change about this team on 5. We might do. We're filming it on Monday, obviously, aren't we? So we'll see. Monte Cristo says Ronaldo will leave the club for many reasons. If he stays, only because they finished top 4. I'm almost certain it's in his contract that he's not allowed to listen to the Europa League anthem. Don't know any ex-United players that would play for Paddock. Well, we have one. Well, I technically have 2. We signed Aaron Burns. I'm just waiting for when he's available to play. So Aaron, if anyone remembers the Giuseppe Rossi, PK kind of era, Aaron played with them in the reserves. Aaron scored 247 non-league goals. I think his goal was to get to 250. But Aaron's a fucking player. He played against us for Jolyon Lescott's team that come and played against us. And he's since signed on. Signed on a couple of weeks ago. So I'm hopeful to get Aaron out. Aaron and Eddie both played for United. But yeah, I hope to have more. I haven't had anyone who's made a first team appearance for United yet. But I think there'll be one before the end of the season. Or there should be one. There's one I think might sign on and make his debut before the end of the season. If RH is still watching, he knows exactly who I'm talking about. Ryan says, what happened to Tom Thorpe? Yeah, I would, if anyone's got a number for him, I'll fucking ring his ass. It's exactly what we need in a centre-half, I think. Someone about his age, and I'm sure he's still fucking quality. Oh, yeah, Asim says Joel's going to be on one the next 5 episode. No doubt. No doubt. Which other top 5 league translates best to the Premier League? I think France, it's a lot more physical than Germany. It's about as quick, but it's more physical. It's probably that one. Serie A's too slow. Spain's not direct enough. I would say France, then Germany. And yeah, it's probably that. Dion McGee, isn't he in Portugal at the moment? I think he went to Braga. I'm not sure where he is at the minute. Daniel says, hey, me again. I've looked up strikers we can sign and sold a couple of starts. Darwin Núñez at Benfica has intrigued me. 18 goals, 2 assists in 18 games. Yeah, it looks decent. Again, I don't know where that lines up. Mark Bolton says, doesn't Chris Eagles play for Paddock? Not yet. George says, top 4 we're pretty much gone. Spurs and Arsenal will go at least 5 points above us with their games in hand. Yeah, it's going to get rough. It is going to get rough, I think. David Martin says, want United to give McNeil and Garnacho a chance. Same. Do I think Pogba struggles at United because he doesn't have a solid box-to-box like Marquisio next to him? Yes. United need a coach to build up the team and squad. We need a lot. Alex says, I forgot to say, Callum McFadden plays for Sheffield United in the FA Youth Cup against United in 2011. And I asked what it was like to play against Pogba, and he said Raval was harder and a better player. Yeah. What am I drinking? Diplomatico and Coke. Am I concerned watching Ronaldo's decline? No. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll get back in the mixer. Benfica want 100 million for Núñez. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking throw the money at your academy and see what happens. Does Rio come to Paddock games? No, not yet. He's not been. When he comes up to Manchester, he's off pretty quick. He did say he'd play for us if we had a game in London, like a friendly, pre-season friendly or something like that. But this was before his back went tits up, so I don't know if his back going tits up has changed that. Jed says, I have a theory that Pogba was never fully adapted to the Prem's intensity, and that's why he looks great in internationals and in Italy, but he dwells too much in the Prem. I could agree with that, in all honesty. We got to stop putting so much stock in what happens in international football. And by the way, fucking Harry Maguire, fucking doing this after, is it San Marino he scores against? Fucking blasting his fingers in your ears. Yes, Harry, because we all said Harry Maguire doesn't fucking score enough against San Marino. Get a fucking grip, lad. Jeff says the point Shaw made about United's warm-up before a match is insane and continues to show the mindset of the club and the team. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? We need to buy Hakimi when we had the chance. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how much he was coming for at the time, but it wasn't fucking anything like what we paid for Wan-Bissaka. Albania. Was that Albania that he scored? Yeah. Well, there you go. Christian says, love these everlasting videos that I've started doing. Keep it going. I'm guessing we're seeing the start of a Rogan-style football room and everything pod. I'll be honest, mate. It's something I've wanted to do for ages. It's just finding out where do they fit in everything like that. I'm debating just renaming this to the Stephen Howson podcast and just having a couple of shows a week where we just fucking roll it out like this and just see what the script was and see where it goes. I would love to do more Rogan-style podcasts. Less M-word talk. But I would definitely love to do more Rogan-style podcasts where you can have those conversational type stuff. COVID's fucked that shit for us. I know, and we don't have the budget Rogan does to be flying people out and then COVID testing everyone and all the rest of that sort of shit. But I think this is what we need to be doing for it. If you start seeing Stephen Howson podcast on a whatever night of the week that we do it, we'll have it. And I just might not have a fucking topic for it, and we'll just see what happens. Will Varane leave? Will Champions League Varane get? Will leave if we don't get Champions League. He might do. Have I seen the Rooney documentary? Yes. Yes. It was good. Do I put Pogba's late performances down to the fact he's putting himself in the shop window? Yes. Sadly. Do I think Izzy will beat Whittaker again tonight? I will echo something that Joe Rogan says, actually. And he says he's such a fucking good hype man because he's a sucker for fucking hype. And I am exactly the same. When it comes to UFC fights, I am very, very, very rarely ever, this guy's going to fucking smash this guy. Because MMA is so fucking closely contested. At the top level in the UFC, for titles especially, it's so closely contested that I will always go, ooh, do you know what? And what I like to do, generally, I think the grapplers, because of the way judging works and how much a takedown scores, I think the grapplers are tended to be favoured in 5-round fights. I think. However, I'm a sucker for those hype jobs because I go, oh, hang on, no. He's only got to land one. He's only got to land one. Does only have to land one, doesn't he? And then I get all fucking excited and giddy thinking, yeah, fucking hell. We're having a fucking absolute tear up. John says, what items are on my full English breakfast? I am a bit of a bitch when it comes to a full English breakfast. I will probably just go with bacon, sausage, hash browns, and beans. I'm not a fan of tomatoes. I'm not a fan of mushrooms. Not on a breakfast, at least, anyway. Yeah, I'm thinking, just, nah. And toast. But yeah, sorry. Did I not go to the premiere of the Rooney documentary? No, I did not. Not that I'm bitter or anything, but you know. Jake says that's why the UFC has taken over boxing recently. The best fighting, the best always. That was the case before WME bought it. When it was Zuffa, that is exactly what happened. But that's not been the case lately, and that annoys me because that's what the UFC was killing it for. Alex says, what about Fury versus White? Who wins? I think it'd be Fury. I think Fury. I really underestimated Fury. I saw a couple of his early fights, like his 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, and I was just like, the guy looks a bit fucking stiff. He didn't look like he had any. Didn't look like he had any sort of cardio. And I always used to say, like, get his ass out of Bob Shannon's. You might make a fighter out of him. But his movement, and his head movement especially, has been fucking sensational. And as he's got older and more experienced, he's fucking frightening to watch. Jake says, stay all United need is Scholes to put on some boots in training and go through the lads with some classic tackles. Are Paddock pint glasses still available to purchase? I think we sold them all out, didn't we, Janine? Any ideas? I don't know, you know. Do I think the Napoli era Maradona would help United? I think there's too much drug testing for the Napoli era Maradona to come play for United. As an American, I wish it was more socially acceptable to have sausage for breakfast. I don't eat egg as well, by the way, right? There's a funny story about why I don't eat egg. So when I was growing up, Prinny, that was on the rundown the last time we was on. And there's 4 pint glasses left apparently on the website. So if you want a Paddock pint glass, there's 4 left. My best friend growing up, who was pretty much like a brother to us, Stu, aka Prinny, who was on the rundown. He was my best man at my wedding. He was allergic to egg. So you couldn't have a cake that had egg in it. You couldn't have fucking profiteroles. You couldn't have anything. Stu was that picky about his eating that you would have to strain, and this is fucking 100% serious, you would have to strain the chicken out of chicken soup for him because he didn't like the bits, right? As a fucking show of solidarity. Listen, loyalty to me is number one, and I am fucking loyal to the core. I will kill and die for you if you're my mate. That's me, right? So out of loyalty and fucking solidarity, I didn't eat eggs. And I still don't eat eggs. And the smell of eggs makes me want to fucking on-cup. But you know what? Stu's over his fucking allergies to eggs and fucking eats eggs now. I've never been so betrayed in my fucking life since we sold David Beckham. Unbelievable. What did Mike Phelan tell me about Donny? He's still at the club. Dan says, 3 United players, past or present, I'd love to have on my podcast. Players can have no staff. I sit in a Stretford end, JP. If it's staff, I want to talk to Matt Busby. My dad managed to speak to Matt Busby, and I'm fucking never been more jealous about anything in my fucking life. Matt Busby is the top of my list. I mean, have you heard a more charismatic man? Fergie's obviously a charismatic man, but Fergie can sit in a fucking corner when it comes to Matt Busby. Oh my fucking God. Matt Busby, number 1. Take a fucking seat, sir. It's going to be Fergie, let's be real. And I don't know where the fuck I start with either of those 2 guys. And then I think it's Bobby Charlton. Not in his current state. He's quite a poorly man at the minute, so I think you would have to get him a little bit more lucid. But maybe if not Bobby Charlton, Cantona. I don't think you get an opinion out of Beckham. I think if he just says everything's great and everyone's amazing and works hard and well done. I think Cantona or possibly Roy Keane, get a beer in him, let him loosen up a little bit. Hank says Busby's why we're all here right now. Ain't that the fucking 100% truth? What drum we're drinking? We are drinking Diplomatico, and that's what we'll be drinking next weekend as well. Ryan says BT Sport made a good point about Howson Hootle. Think he'd be a good fit at United with Rangnick upstairs. Yep. The stand opposite Stretford End needs to be renamed the Sumat Busby stand. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. It's on Sumat Busby Way. I don't know why Fergie got a stand when he already had a road. Like someone mentioned earlier before, who's the next statue? And you think, fucking hell, like, there should be about 10. When you look at what Arsenal's fucking bar is, we should have about fucking 44. Where's Brian Robson's? When meeting ex-players and players and ex-players, do I get starstruck? Only with Cantona. With Cantona, I sweat about 4 litres. Fucking hell, yeah, Cantona's the only one, man. Do I ever get to chill with any United players? Not really. Are all Paddock players United fans? No. Will, who's my producer, that usually edits all my videos, is a Hull fan. Cam, famously, Chelsea fan. Azan, who plays up front for us, is an Arsenal fan. JP, annoyingly, trains in Liverpool kit because his brother's a Liverpool player. His brother is James Balagizi, who's just about to break into the Liverpool first team. He trains in his Liverpool kit. And he supports City, so he's a pain in the ass. One of the other coaches is a City fan. My assistant coach is a Liverpool fan. So, no, I mean, there's a lot of United fans. There was players that was at the game today and fucking struggled getting back on time for the game. But, yeah. Janine says, make me admin. Let me see if I can do it from here. Add moderator. There we go. Would I take prime Cristiano or Eric? Oh, man. This team probably needs a prime Eric more than it needs a prime Cristiano. I mean, Ronaldo might be the best player of all time. What's my opinion on our upcoming summer transfers, ins and outs? I think it's got to be all about the manager first. Steve listens to Janine. I've just done it. Galaglax says, I'll take Eric now. He can't be that bad. He's the king after all. Eric was different gravy, says David. Yeah. If Rooney manages United and wins the title, would that cement him as a legend? Yes. Yeah, I did have a reservation with calling Rooney a legend because of I never felt like he connected. I think Evra and Solskjaer connected to him way better than Rooney ever did. But Rooney is one of my favourite players at United. Something I used to say to my son all the time is, you know, as a young footballer, what does Wayne Rooney do? Never give up. That was the challenge and the answers. Wayne Rooney never fucking give up. He didn't know when he was beaten, and for me, that's such a thing. He's one of the best players. He was a ball hair under the best player in the world for several years. He was fucking sensational. And when, I mean, I don't know about you lot, I was getting all in my feels this morning watching Wayne Rooney pulling on the shirt and talking about the hat-trick he scored on his debut. I can remember me and Ben watching that game and being out till 4 a.m. after it, just talking about how fucking good we're going to be. Because you forget we had Cristiano Ronaldo. And I don't think his career went on to the heights it should have done, but we had Wes Brown, we had Rio, like we had all of these players, and we was going, oh my fucking God, we're going to be fucking sick. And it was 2 years after that it happened that we became sick. Fucking unbelievable. How much would you give now to just fucking smooch back and not know you was going to experience all that, but experience all of that lot? And things like that fucking Roma 7-1 game. Oh, my God. Rooney's goal against AC Milan at Old Trafford. Oh my fucking God. Rio and Rooney had some of the best fucking times through at Manchester United, didn't they? Mega. Rooney should have won a Ballon d'Or. The problem was there were better players in the world, but he was always there. And yeah, he's doing a fucking sensational job at Derby. Sancho missed a sitter before he goal. Literally, the opposite thing happened for his goal, didn't it? And if he'd have switched it for Rashford, we might have been fucking happy days. Alex says, for me, the 06-07 after the World Cup with CR7 and Wazza, the first game where they linked up, I remember thinking we're going to win it. The counter-attacking football there, Rennie Mullenstein's counter-attacking Manchester United. Alex says, I'd take Rooney over Poch, and I'd be fucking right behind you, mate. Roma 7-1 really is the happiest I've ever been at Old Trafford, and that includes the 9 against Ipswich. It was bonkers, wasn't it? My old man was in Vegas, and they phoned me about fucking 1 a.m, and I only just got in. And I remember I was on cloud 9. I was off my fucking tits, so fucking happy with what we'd seen. It was sensational. And I think it was actually helped, and I'm going to be real with you, sometimes it gets like a little bit like that. I think it was helped by the violence outside. It went off like fuck. And I think that helped with the atmosphere inside the ground. Now, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They want to say, oh, violence bad. But you know what? Sometimes it give it a bit of an edge. And because of the away goals and all that lot, I can remember so much about that night. I remember the guy in front of me turning around with a text message off his mate saying, who's that bloke in Fletcher's shirt? Which is one of the best fucking lines. I still use it to this day. And even, I think it was it 4-1 or something at one point? And it was like, it's not enough. We need more goals. Because if they get one now, we're in the shit. Like, oh, it was fucking, what a fucking game that was. And what a performance from United. Mate. Yeah. Alan Smith. And Roma weren't shit. Daniel De Rossi. Fucking Totti. Hell of a team. And we mullered them. We fucking mullered them. Why do I hate John Terry so much as a player? Because he's fucking shit, Sommy, right? He gets treated like he was Wes Brown, right? Wes Brown was a technically better defender than him. His positioning was shit. He cried at every fucking opportunity. He's a fucking fraud. Right, go, like, forget that. Right, your narrative has probably been created for you by the London-centric media and Sky Sports, who fucking loved him. Right, you go ask the Germans what their tactics were for playing against England, and it was pick on fucking John Terry because he's fucking shit. Ryan says, what happens when John Terry goes on Vibe with 5? Will I be nice to him? 1, you need to do some history research, because 2, that's not fucking happening. Best atmosphere, crowd-wise, aside from any bias? The games I've been to in Germany have probably been the better ones. Oh, actually, I'm lying. CSK Sofia against Ludogorets was the most insane atmosphere in a game I've ever been to in my life, and it was only about fucking 7,000 there. Neil Powell says, Carvalho made Terry look good, and if he never would have played for England if Ledley King and Woodgate weren't so injury prone, and there is not a fucking lie in that sentence. United Porto in the Champions League stadium was 55,000. I remember that. 4-0. That was a fucking superb one. Galatasaray was mad. I've never been, so I can't give you my own thoughts on it. What are my thoughts on Jimmy Dunn from when he was in the academy? He was good. I don't know what happened to him though. Why do people always forget about Paul McGrath and talk about defenders or Premier League rich? Because he peaked at the start of the Premier League. That's why. And he never won it. Needs to revert to back being a counter-attacking team. We can't create dick when we keep possession. There might be some truth to that, but I think United do need to hold possession. Our football is just better. is better. It's just that there's too many players being carried. Yeah, I agree with that. Did Ronaldo ruin United? No. Steve Bruce is better than John Terry. Some people are going to think that's a joke, and I agree. Alex says, what made Rooney such a warrior was that he had longer studs to fuck JT up. Oh, yeah, fucking hell. I mean, it's funny that they're trying to fucking do him for that now, aren't they? And they'll end up banning him for Derby. They're fucking pathetic. Shane says, Story Champions League 2008 final. I buried my granddad that day. Fucking hell. And I was 17, went down to the pub in Ireland to watch the final on my own. Went to Pens, looked up and said, please miss this if you're looking down. Wow. Shit. Also, John Terry's English and he was never scoring a penalty, so there was that going in your favour. Steve Bruce now is better than Maguire. Oh, come on. Yeah, you're probably right. David says, Wes Brown, Ronnie Johnson, Stam, Rio, Vidic, all miles better than Terry. Miles better than Terry. You want to talk about Premier League all-time great defenders? Fucking King is higher than him. Sammy Hippier might be fucking higher than him. John Terry is a fucking myth of a centre-half. An absolute fucking myth of a centre-half. Honestly, like, go watch him. Is it England, Italy? Was it the Euros? Was it 2012? Just fucking heading the ball up in the air. Fundamentally fucking gash. Had a good head on him, allegedly. Is it true that he's a United fan? I believe it is. Is Company better than Terry? Company was 100%. I'm taking Company getting sent off over John Terry. Oh my God. Again, just that London-centric press just loves anything. Yeah, Wes Brown, comfortably better than him, just couldn't stay fit. Someone said, why don't they do an England B anymore? Because no one likes internationals anymore. There's probably not enough fucking players for an England B. I found out the other day, though, that there is an England C, which is made up of non-league teams. Did you know that? Is Smalling better than Terry? Let's not get giddy. Stam or Vidic says, go, stop, go. Here's my ranking of Manchester United's Premier League centre-halves. Jaap Stam is number one, and there is no debate for that whatsoever. He's the greatest Dutch player to ever grace the Premier League. 3 leagues, 3 seasons, 3 titles. Thank you, good night. Behind Jaap Stam, it's Rio, who people think that Rio was just this ball-playing defender. Rio was a fucking beast, right? And he was a fucking leader. And he didn't have to make tackles, but if he did tackle you, you fucking knew about it. And it's only the extra leadership skills, which I think are different to the ones that Vidic has got. This isn't to besmirch Vidic's. Vidic is right underneath him. And then, I actually think Ronnie Johnson's there. Because Ronnie Johnson was a fucking animal. And then it's Pallister and Bruce. And then after that, centre-half wise, I don't fucking know. Stam over Robben as the best Dutchman in the Premier League. I fucking said it. You go and find me another Dutchman that came here for 3 years, won 3 Premier League titles in the dominating fashion that he did, and then fucked off. You won't find one. And I think Robben's best days weren't at Chelsea. He was good at Chelsea, but his best days were comfortably at Bayern Munich. So don't go thinking, well, look at what Robben did and adding that to what he did at Chelsea. It's not the case. Sam says, was it a mistake to get rid of Kyrgios? Maybe we should have kept him on as one of the staff that kept Fergie feeling. No, I think getting rid of all of them. Somebody says, Steve, Terry's definitely done something to you personally. No, I just fucking hate the absolute wankfest that surrounds him. It makes no sense. It's like me now trying to convince you all Harry Maguire is the greatest Premier League defender. And you're like, Steve, I've got eyes. What you on about? Like, it's almost that fucking bad. I think he's better than Maguire. But just to put that out there before someone fucking tweets me. But, yeah. Do I hate Lampard? No, Lampard's a good player. I used to hate Lampard. I hated him not for his playing ability though. Yeah, he was in that whole, do the Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard thing, right? It's laughable. Paul Scholes is on the roof. Then it's Lampard. Then it's Carrick. Then it's Gerrard. Sebastian Starter says, "G'day, mate. After a long, drawn-out process figuring out who I want my Man United news and stories from, I've come out on top. Thank you very much. I make other United channels look like a joke. Keep it up. Love from Australia. Cheers, our kid." Fergie said his biggest mistake was selling Stam, and I would agree with that. Lampard is better than Gerrard. Name a centre-back who I could say is his level. Not even Carragher. He's not even as good as Carragher. Carragher is a better defender than John Terry is. Mate, just think about the kind of individual that goes, do you know what? When I retire, what I want to do is kick the ball out for a throw-in the 26th minute because I wear number 26 and then you lot give me a standing ovation. I'm sorry, you fucking what now? Unbelievable. He has come out with one of the best lines any court has ever heard, though, which he was complaining about Scousers saying Liverpool fans used to sing about my mum loving Scouse cock. He said that with a straight face in court, which is fucking superb. Jed says, Gerrard was the epitome of Roy the Rovers player, all Hollywood passes and shot. Yep. Why don't United go after Graham Potter? I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe he's not a big enough name. Top 5 United best midfielders. Roy Keane. All midfielders. Roy Keane, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Brian Robson. And if it's of all time, it's got to be Bobby Charlton. If it's only the ones I've seen, I feel like I'm missing someone fucking ridiculous out here. I don't. Maybe Giggs. Any word from Puma on the green and gold kits? You what? They're on their way out, right? Some people have got them. Some people are still waiting for them. We are pushing them out. I think David May was better than John Terry. Fucking relax. He was better than David May. We are pushing them out, but they are going to take a minute. There's 880 to do, and it's literally Janine doing all of them. Carrick, yeah, fucking hell, Carrick. John says, Steve, why do you think we got rid of Rio, Vidic, Evra, Evans, Welbeck, Hernandez, etc. within 1.5 seasons when they were winning mentalities? Because the club is run like a fucking titty bar by idiots. Ollie says, London-centric bias is a genuine thing. Think about how the press treated Lampard compared to Solskjaer. The same thing. Look at how they treat Spurs. Spurs are this little pet thing that they can't wait to fucking big up. They're a fucking Everton with a nicer stadium. Uncle Dubia says, how are there any defenders of Slabhead McFridge in this chat? Puzzled. Because people, if you say United play in red, someone will tell you it's blood red. Like, no one can agree on anything, so there's always going to be detractors. Alex says, does Ruben Neves remind you of Carrick? Yes. Adam says, congrats on the win, Steve. Hoping we come down for the last game of the season. If we get into draws, then I want to see fucking 500 in there if it's at all possible. Because it's probably going to be the game that wins us the league. Or at least can win us the league if we don't fuck it up. Are TIFOs banned in England? I think so, yeah. I think there's a rule on like a 1 metre by 2 metre flag. Something like that. Bergkamp's arguably the best Dutch import, says JPW. I mean, arguably after Jaap Stam, yeah. United are missing a player like Thiago, Rooney or Rio. Yeah. Overmars might be the best Dutchman, actually. I mean, after Jaap Stam, you can have your arguments, but it's Jaap Stam. Who's a current player at Terry's level? John Evans? Hot take, Rice don't fix all our problems, says Toxic Jacks. That's not a hot take, man. That's just fucking reality. Oh my God, Ryan. It's funny how Longstaff can't even get a regular game for Newcastle, yet we were linked with him for 50 million. I bet we were close to doing that, weren't we? Neil says, do I know the dates for the Drick games at Drawson yet? No. As soon as I have the word, I will throw it out there. We're only getting our fixtures 2 weeks at a time, man. It's so frustrating. Opinions on Anderson. Started off amazing, went rapidly downhill once he figured out the 2-for-1 cocktails at Birdcage. Loki's Chaos says, saw the video of the green and gold being boxed up. Very impressed with the polish of those getting put together. Kudos to Janine. Can't wait for mine to arrive. She's a stickler for presentation. If you've got it, you know what I'm on about. Like, they come in the little plastic thing with a white bit of paper on them. She fucking launches that, folds everyone up by hand. They go in special Paddock FC paper. Everyone gets a little sticker on. They all get put into a box and shipped. It's going above and beyond. But all our merch is that as well. Look, there's loads of home and away shirts, and they're going to be done from this season. So if you want to fucking get one, suggest you go and get one. Janine, am I right in thinking? Text me if I'm not going to see it on here, but am I thinking there's going to be I think there's less than 20 of each, I think, and we're not bringing in any more. That's the red one and the white one. So if that's our first title win, you don't want to miss out on that. So go and check those out. They're on the site, and I think there's a discount at the moment. Am I right, Janine? Text me, and I'll put the code in here. There's a 20% discount on there if we want to get them. So let's get them fucking sold tonight, shall we? And that's that done with. Next season there will be a new home kit. There is going to be a new away kit, but I haven't decided what colour we're going to be, so I am open to suggestions. I'm thinking something like a navy blue, perhaps, for the away kit. Do we ship to Switzerland? We ship worldwide, my mate. They go all across the globe. If you want to get one of those shirts, get in the mixer. Stretford Paddock FC. StretfordPaddockFC.com/shop, I think it is, or just click on the shop on there. Home and away shirts. There will be new ones for next season, so these hopefully going to be limited edition. Blue Aztec. No, we won't be doing a custom one for next season because the custom one that we've got is the green and gold. So green and gold is going to continue for next season because obviously we were so late in getting it out because of COVID. We are going to go with green and gold again next season as a third kit. We'll wear it as much as we can. It's actually a pretty good colour for us to wear because it actually saves us a few clashes. We will have a new red shirt for next year. We're keeping the socks because I like the socks. I don't know if you noticed our socks. Our socks are custom. And I'm going to say they come in a little bag. Have you ever bought like United socks or anything somewhere and it's got it written on a little sticker on the bag and it's got like Stretford Paddock home socks? And I don't know why, but I buzz off that. But anyway, will we be releasing more green and golds? No, that's it. We have made all the ones we're making and that is it. There'll be a new red one and possibly a navy, I'm thinking, for the away. And then the green and gold will be the third kit. That will be next season's. So if you want to go and get one of the home or away kits from this season, then check the next one out. Yeah, as Janine says, we've got a meeting on Wednesday with Puma. We're going to see some colours and designs and all that sort of stuff. Do Paddock players wash their own kit? No, I do. Well, I drop it off at the laundrette, kind of. We do wash a lot of them at home, though, sometimes. As the manager, what do I wear? Unless it's horrendous weather. When it's horrendous weather, I'll generally wear something a little bit more casual. When I'm just on the sideline, I wear black chinos with some smart trainers, and I usually wear a polo top or one of our black quarter zips with usually a rain jacket over because I don't know if you noticed, it's always fucking raining. Always. I mean, today was fucking Baltic. I thought Dave was the kit man. He is the kit man, but Dave doesn't drive. So we get all of the kits pooled to mine if possible, and then I take them to the laundrette. Ryan said, I think we should revert to a diamond to control the midfield. I was thinking about that today, actually, and I think that could work with it. Tom said this earlier, but you didn't see it. Have I heard anything about the rumours United are courting Job Bellingham? No, I haven't. Where do we get the casual shirts from? You mean these? This t-shirt and this shirt, actually, from... I'm going to give them a shout out. I thought it had a fucking big label in this. I guess it doesn't. These are from Finiston, right? And Finiston are fucking awesome. Yeah, there's 20% off on the site, Janine says, if you go and check them out. Finiston, there's a shirt that I've not wore yet from them. And for those of you who know where Sir Alex was an apprentice toolmaker in the Govan shipyard, the jumper that I bought is Govan Shipbuilders. I bought it for Fergie. But they also do loads more, like just, workwear type casual clothing like this, which I fucking buzz off. They're fucking awesome. They're based in Glasgow. It's an independent company and I fucking love them. A lot of the shirts that I rock are like this. Or from them even. And Malak says, a mass-produced green and gold kit with all the profits going to a fan share scheme. It's kind of what we're doing. Saji says, can I make a video about João Pauhina as a six for United? I'll have a look at him. Do we still speak from Sam from the full-time Devils days? Yeah. When Rio did, I don't know if anyone who watched Rio's United podcast sees me just fucking accidentally fucking walking across the back of it. Yeah. But yeah, I still chat to Sam. We suddenly don't have strength in depth up front anymore. Start blooding the academy players now. Don't wait till we're short of options. Bingo. This is why Charlie McNeil should get a sniff. Well, there's no fucking strikers. What do I think of a Bellend wearing a suit playing in a final of FIFA on Twitch? No comment, mate. I want to say a massive thank you to you and the lads for keeping me sane during lockdown up the fucking paddock. It's not finished though, has it? That shit started 2 years ago. And it ain't actually finished. Imagine Amazon Prime did something for this season. Someone told me that the reason that you do an Amazon Prime is to get fans or is to get money, and United, even though they're a bit tight, technically don't need either. And that's why we won't do one. And also, they're so paranoid about anything going out that they just never fucking do it. Is there anyone on this planet who knows what's going on at United? I hope fucking Richard Arnold does. Do we have any relationship with Sam from People's TV? No, I got no dramas with him. He seems sound. He's never had any problems with it and that, so we'd love to do some content with him. He does some really good videos, actually. Stretford Paddock coming to Dubai anytime soon? Well, maybe. It's not signed, but maybe. There's a gentleman that I know that's inquired about us coming over for a pre-season tournament. It's some sort of local tournament to do with the Expo. If you live in Dubai, you might know a little bit more than I do about this. Apparently they have a foreign team as a guest. The tournament lasts about a week. And they asked us if we'd be interested in going out there for pre-season, possibly the first week of August. So I've said, yeah, be interested in doing that, of course. But you would have to cover the cost for us. I mean, the lads pay subs. No one's fucking coming to play in Dubai, are they? So they said it wouldn't be a problem. So we might be ending up having a special edition one-off shirt to go and play in this tournament. But I said, like, we'd need to be there a week. And there's a potential that we could go and do our pre-season outlet. Excuse me. So, if you're a player playing level 9, 10, 11, you think you want to come and play for Paddock and go and do pre-season in July, August in Dubai with us, and get in a mixer. We will be running trials quite soon, actually, and they'll be quite hefty, and we will be fucking thrashing the lads. We will be... Because our season's probably going to end in March, at the back end of March, the first week of April at the fucking latest, I think we're probably going to have a couple of weeks off as a first team, but then we're going to get straight back into the mixer with it, I think. And probably have a real good run up at pre-season, because if we're where I'm expecting us to be next year, we got to be fit. One of the best things that we've had this season is being fit and fitter than other teams and cooking them. But I want to stretch that and make sure that as we move up through the levels, that stays as a positive for us and we never slip behind or even just compete. Joe done upper remove. Says, going back to your Glazer comment, brothers who own Betfred are United fans. Fred was meant to be coming on the channel at one point, actually. I should probably follow that up. I'm not sure he's got the liquid cash to be able to buy us, though. But neither did the Glazers. John Kelly says, I just want to be proud of this team again. That's all I ask. It's been a minute, innit, since we've been able to do that. The green and gold ones are not for sale at the moment. Once everyone has got theirs that they've pre-ordered, we will release a handful. We do have some overs, but there's not a lot. And we're not going to tell you what we've got. There's no large, by the way. There's a couple of XLs, a couple of 2XLs, and some smalls, and maybe some mediums. But, like, we'll put them on, we'll blang a tweet out. That's it. Christian says, Beckham and some of his Qatar and MLS friends to buy United, deal or no deal. Could happen. When am I back in the studio for Vibe with 5? Stop sitting in your fucking bedroom. I've been ill. I have been ill. Probably Mondays, I imagine. How's life in Manchester? Is it worth it for people to relocate? I would have said so, yeah. I'd have said so. Why was Beck so underrated? Because people couldn't separate him and a celebrity. And the celebrity thing was annoying. And Fergie overplayed it, in my opinion, to a degree. But he was an unbelievable footballer. And he was the best player in the world in 1999. Don't really want to be owned by Qatar, says Toxic Jacks. Yanni says Ronaldo's absolutely lost it. Slow on the turn, leg it, only good in the air, like a shit Chris Wood. Wow. Which Paddock presenter annoys Janine the most? Don't know. Everyone's pretty good, to be honest. Possibly Ronaldo. Would I consider doing a few videos about my personal fitness training? As a big bloke looking to get back in fitness, I'd be interested. Just follow me on Instagram. Everything goes on there. My programs are going on there, and everything that we're doing is all on there. I don't know if I'll do YouTube videos on them. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I did get down to £40 loss last week, but because I've been ill and all that sort of shit, struggled this week. So I'm about £37 down overall, which is pretty good, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, since August. And I have a consultation for my calves on the 1st of March. So I'll get a date for my operation as of the 1st of March. Not a bad cow says, I know you're a busy guy, but if I want a one-to-one meeting to discuss an idea how to reach you, you won't get a one-to-one with me, mate. I am that busy, but feel free to email the email address that's on my socials. When are we doing trials for Paddock FC? Every Friday, 6 till 7. Just turn up and go and get in the mixer with it. And I also find the Rooney doc a bit of a letdown. A few good moments, but a bit of rehashing of the England stuff we've seen before. I didn't know what to expect from it, to be honest. It seemed like they had a bit of access to them, didn't it? And they sort of really over-egged that a little bit. And they're sitting in the house. Like I don't know what the story arc was. Where was the journey Like you said, we kind of knew everything that was going on about it. Does Manchester have good high tech? Is it worth to try open business in the area? Yeah, I think Manchester does have quite a bit of tech stuff going on. I'm not sure if it's as good as in London, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, it does. Thought I would mention the granny grafting. No, I didn't. First goal that I remember at Old Trafford. Ooh. I don't know, actually. I can remember a goal being scored, but I didn't see it, and I got like being 6 or something at the time, got caught up in a terrace. First goal I remember. I don't know, actually. I don't know when the first game I can remember is. I know my first game was September 1990, and it was against Southampton. Don't remember a thing about it. I can remember loads of little moments from games. I can remember being in the Stretford End concourse picking up the pint glasses because they were all plastic and had a United logo on them, but remembering specific games and stuff like that, don't know. Do I think we can go on a run in the Champions League? I think that run could fucking end against Atletico Madrid, in all honesty. I know Dion Dublin scored. Dion Dublin did score. Then he broke his leg. What's Manchester like to live in these days? Used to live in Hale as a kid, but we moved away. Been contemplating moving back. Hale's a lovely part of Manchester. It's a bit spendy. I think for me, I've lived in a few different places in England with the army, and I think Manchester's a very affordable city. It's a nice size of city. You can get across it without it being a massive nose to get from one side to the other. What did Paddock FC trials consist of? It's a training session. We will know in a training session whether or not you need to come back or not. So just turn up for a training session and try hard, and then we'll tell you whether you can come into one of the teams or not. I think the size of the city is big enough to have all the amenities that you want, and small enough that it doesn't absolutely fucking take your entire day. There's shitholes that satellite the city centre, as of course there is, as there is every single city. But I think nice areas are generally affordable. Shitholes are clearly affordable, but like the nicer areas are generally affordable. They're not bonkers. Like shitholes in London, semi-detached houses are not 1.4 fucking million around here. Like, there's a lot of flats if you're a young student, or if you're a young professional moving up here for work and you're single especially, or if it's just you and your missus. There's so many there's so many sort of opportunities for somewhere to live, especially if you're renting. The city centre's happy days. Outside of that, really mega nice family homes are a little bit harder to come by, and the market for those, I'm not very happy with what I see looking for where we want to move and live. You're talking mega money to be something that you're going to be very happy with. Do I think I could make it as a professional football manager or coach? No, because it's not what I want to do. Titus says you can see multiple celebrities and footballers. Amazing city. I saw Joe at Aldi Deansgate. Sensational. Thanks, buddy. My eldest daughter's going to Manchester Met to study sports science, so it makes sense in terms of her saving money. 5-bed semi where I live now is 650k upwards. Yeah, not that much. I mean, you'd probably get somewhere in Hale. I don't know about a 5-bed, but you might get in Hale for that. Ethan Two Gun says, found your insights into the army service recently interesting. Have I done a podcast talking about similar things? I've only really touched on it, and I think I probably only really will touch on it. I have been debating doing a military podcast where I go and speak specifically to some veterans. There's a couple of military cross winners and people like that that I know or I work with, where I would want to talk to them very, very specifically. A bit like what Jocko does, where you kind of go, talk to me about what happened that day. How did it start? And just do like 30, 40 minutes talking about that and the fallout of that particular day. And I think I could do a bit of a series on those. But what I don't know is what's set. Where do they go? Where do I post them? Is there an audience for them? I think there probably is. You know, I think there's some legs in that, and it's something that I think I would probably find a bit of satisfaction from doing, but I don't know where they go. Have I heard anything on Pogba's contract, and what do I honestly think United do? I think they offer him a fat one, and I honestly don't know what he's going to do. Would I let my lad join the army? Not him, no, personally, because I don't think his personality suits it. And I think he would probably go in for the wrong reasons. But I still think there's a valid reason for people to join the military. And for some people, it's the right thing to do. I'm myself looking at rejoining the reserves. It's partially the reason that I'm getting a surgery done, hopefully very soon. And some of that might be onset of midlife crisis. That might be the onset of don't feel like YouTube's as fulfilling as a role as I need. It might be that I fucking love violence, and it could be a combination of all of those things. I think I probably made a mistake in leaving, but at the time I needed to leave. I did 3 tours in 3 years. 2006, 2007, 2008, and I'm not sure that I should have done. And I volunteered for the last one. Where's Diesel? He was in here before. When Janine brought the last run for us, he was in here fucking about. It's a mess up here, and he was just into everything. What type of personality suits the army? How do you know if it's the right thing to do? Well, you got to start with the why. Why do you want to join the army? And what is the career that you see for yourself in the army? I think you got to start with everything. You have to start with the why. Answers no way am I old enough to have a midlife crisis. I am 40 next year, and I feel it. I think if you're the sort of person that's there's did United win the Champions League in between? United won the Champions League as I got back from Iraq. Why are there so many armed forces homeless? So this shocked Joe. Joe Smith didn't have a fucking clue how some of the sleeping arrangements are on operations. Quite often you sleep out in the open. And I think because you're used to living out of a Bergen or a bag, it's not the worst thing in the world for you to go on the streets. It's something that you've probably experienced a little bit of. So it's not as daunting as it is for someone. I think they're used to just living rough and dealing with those sort of harsh conditions. And I also think there's a lot of mental health problems, drug problems, and alcohol problems that are associated with adaptation back to civilian life. How often was I able to keep up with United scores during service? Quite good, actually. One of the big things that I found on operations was you don't talk about the operation that you're on because you're fucking on it. You don't really want to talk about your family and stuff like that because it's a bit wet, a bit soft. I think one of the things that gets you through it is chatting shit about football. I remember the 2006 tour, mate, all we talked about was Schneider coming to United. All of it. Fucking all of it. Just Schneider, Ribery, fucking... yeah. Where was I on 9/11 and what were I doing when it happened? My mum and dad were on their way to New York. I think they were going the week after. And I finished college. I was at college when it happened. Missed it. Again, no phones, so no internet on your phones or anything like that. So I had a girlfriend who was from Staley Bridge at the time, and went to hers. And as she came, we got to her house. I think her gran came out shouting, saying that they're bombing the towers. Obviously, slightly incorrect terminology, but like, we just watched it all unfold on TV. Never in a million years thought watching those towers come down that's going to mean I'm going to fucking be spending months of my life in a desert. Do I have any sort of skin issues because of the last 2 years? Mine's gotten bad. Oh, with mental health? No. Not that I know of, anyway. Is World War III happening? Here's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to end up being a UN peacekeeping mission. Akbar says 20 fucking 4 next month, and I'm watching a 40-year-old United fan on YouTube. Yeah, we're all fucked. Dan Zaki says, a bit wet to talk about family. Yeah, I'm not going to fucking sit here and be like, oh, I'm missing my bird. You're not, are you? You just fucking get on with it. Call one of the lads a wanker or just start a fight or something. Like, just fucking keep it moving. What does my wife make of me wanting to join the military? Well, I won't speak for her on that. She knows me very well, though. She was having a conversation with someone yesterday about me, told me afterwards, and I was like, yeah, all of those things that you said are fucking bang on. Do I believe in any conspiracy theories? Yes, I do. Do I believe 9/11 was an inside job? I believe those towers came down a bit fucky. Snotch says, I once stumbled across Alex Baggers and Ronaldo Brown in Manchester as they were playing football in a park. I also remember some mega beardy shouty bloke on a touchline. That sounds like it happened. Would I ever get involved in politics? Fuck no. I couldn't stomach the fucking... Do you know what they are? They're all Harry Maguires, and they're all absolute fucking buck-passing, lack of blame taking fucking shitbags, aren't they? No one's got a fucking backbone between them. When did I get the call to go to Middle East because of 9/11? I didn't. I joined 2002, and yeah. The SAS training that's shown on TV, have I done them yourself? No, I never tried for the SAS or anything like that, so let's not get this twisted, but you do get to do some of the stuff that they show on that show. The resistance to interrogation, you get to do some of that. And my old boss is one of the people on that show. Like I said, I wasn't in the SAS, and neither was he. But he is one of the bosses on that show. And he's a City fan. And he fucking hated me. If I am the age I am now in the heyday of Manchester, who am I watching and why is it at the Haas? Stone Roses or the Happy Mondays all day long. Best place to hide is probably Antarctica since it's uninhabited apart from research stations. Holly says that's what someone from the SAS would say. Yeah, maybe it is, but I wasn't in the SAS. When I was in the UK, was I ever based out of Hereford? No, and I know what you're saying, but no, I fucking wasn't. Janine says, I think he's realistically too busy to rejoin even in reserves, but he won't let it drop him until it's done. She knows me well. There was a philosopher who said the same events happen every 100 years in a cycle. We've already had a 21st century version of the Spanish flu, so I'm thinking World War III is happening. Yes. Kassam said, would I ever go on SAS? Who dares wins? No, and I was actually asked to go on something like that recently, and I just couldn't think of anything fucking worse, to be honest. Ahmad played as a CDM for Rangers today. Is that a fact? No way. Did I ever shoot my gun up in the air and go, no? And I one of the cringiest things I see is when people from the Middle East just fired a gun up in the air. I just think, that shit's coming back down again, These fucking people die by that. Rob says, does anyone have very little desire or happiness for United anymore? I'll watch because I'll always be a fan, but I don't get excited anymore. Did I secretly work for a division that had a 5, an I, and an M in it? No, I didn't, but some of my friends do. And they do a worrying amount of business in Manchester and all. Sky just messed up with the graphic. Fair enough. Would Tillman and Rice work in that midfield? I think they would, I assume you have to account for every single bullet that you fire. Yeah. Oh, there was a lad from the guards para did a negligent discharge in our tent. That caused an absolute shitstorm. They got ragged within a fucking inch of their life, poor bastards. Love my TikTok about Stephen Gerrard. I like TikTok, man. I'm fucking learning loads on there. I'm not dancing on it though. Bad Wave says, Steve, hire me as an editor for Paddock. Have you applied for the job? There is a job going on the fan channel if anyone's interested. I think the advert's on LinkedIn. When do I think we could win the league again? What do I think about going back to the Middle East, but as a humanitarian with a Red Cross or MSF? Who's MSF? I don't think I've heard that denomination. I joined something at the start of the pandemic, and they never asked me to do anything. Let's see what it's called. I'm just going to do a bit of Googling because I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Team Rubicon, that's what it's called, which is a disaster response thing. So I actually joined that in 2020, and they've not asked me to do fuck all since. So, there is that. MSF, Doctors Without Borders in French. All right, fair play. I was 10 when the house closed. Do I know anyone who went, and was it good as it made out to be? I don't actually know anyone who went, actually. I've seen the videos of the African troops who can't afford rounds in training, and they're just shouting bang. Yes. How long have I been live for? About 3 hours now, innit? Feels like it. Do I see Lewandowski's dances on TikTok? No, I don't. Where would I be without the support of the missus? In all honesty, dead. She's a fucking saint. Would I do private security work? It never appealed to me, to be honest. And even though the money was outrageous, it was 6 figures for 6 months. It just didn't appeal to me. It's hard enough doing it with air support and all that sort of shit. Doing it without air support's fucking carnage. Do I believe in God? If so, which one? Yes, and his name is Cantona. No, the private security thing never interested me in the slightest. War and armed conflict is a fucking crazy old gaff anyway. And then when you get into the mix of Blackwater and some of the stuff, that's murky. And I don't know the ethics behind it. I had a good friend who was a Pathfinder platoon, who went out and did private security in Iraq. And I think he got some serious fucking PTSD because that shit was carnage. And I think they were getting way more contacts, way more contacts than they did in the Afghanistan tour. But I think because of the operational tempo, certainly for a lot of people, when we get the operational tempo of Iraq and Afghanistan, a lot of people got a lot of fucking tools. Yeah, Jake says you get 6 figures for a reason. Yeah, you do, yeah. No one's doing it for minimum wage, are they? You know, I think there was a lot of people got some fucking very, very useful experience. Some wanted, some not so much. But the experience is extremely valuable for the private army and stuff like that. And yeah, I had some friends that were in the Marines. They went and did some of the Somali pirate boat protection stuff. I don't know how you feel about that either. I mean, I hated being on a boat, the little bit of time I spent on a boat, and just wasn't fucking interested in that whatsoever. But they look like they got a lot of fucking contacts in, to be real with you. A fucking lot of contacts in with the Somali pirates. I didn't realise it was on top as it looked. Roy Keane in the comments. Hello, Roy. Have I managed to watch 14 Peaks on Netflix? Yes, I watched it. I started watching it. I haven't finished it yet. Yeah, that the private security world is a murky old world. I imagine it's full of Delta Force, Navy SEALs, SAS guys are probably fucking making $250,000 every 6 months in there. You know, Pathfinder Platoon, Para Edge, just Marines, just making a killing on the back of the tours. It just never appealed. It never appealed in the slightest. It's a fucking mad gaff, innit? How hard was it for British-born Muslims, Middle East, in the military? I applied for the RAF in '97, and they sent someone from the Home Office to grill me for 5 hours. Wow. There is, depending on the role that you go, there is sometimes enhanced vetting that you have to go through, and they do come and interview parents and have your mum and dad been arrested for anything and things like that. Being real, I think you are going to get that more as a Muslim trying to join the armed forces. But I think there's still issues in the army with racism that I think probably need fixing. I think there's a lot of head in the sand sort of attitude to racism. I saw a video the other day, and it was by a guy that refused to soldier, and became an author. And from what I can gather, it was a guy that just fucked off to Thailand, got down as AWOL, and didn't want to go back to Afghanistan, so became a conscientious objector to it. The guy was a fucking chef. And what he saw in Afghanistan, he was like, I no longer want to contribute to this. And you're like, to be honest, mate, and I think it's been proven this, what's happened since Afghanistan's fell back to the Taliban, I think by and large the British presence or the coalition presence in Afghanistan was a relatively good thing. I think the infrastructure building that went on was a relatively good thing, and these people are going to have their own opinions about this, but in my experience, I think what we were doing for Afghanistan was making it a safer place. ISIS and ISIL, or all of that stuff, never managed to get any sort of a foothold in Afghanistan the way it did in Iraq. The withdrawal from Iraq was a fucking shit show. You know, and there's the withdrawal from Afghanistan was a fucking shit show as well, to be honest. Yeah. Ant says, it was fast jet for me. I got grilled again by a panel of 5 once I got Cranwell for officer selection. See, I'm not an officer, so I don't know if that's normal or not. I can imagine fast jet's a pretty fucking cool job, though, to be fair to you. Anthony says, you were sent for the wrong reasons, WMDs, and stayed for the right ones, I guess. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, seems like, yeah, doesn't it? Toxic says, Taliban murdered a comic that made fun of them before they took power. It's gone back to being a shithole. I think they're already, like, just fucking annihilating people, journalists, all sorts of stuff. Jack says, Steve, was you in the forces? Only just joined, so assuming. Yes. I did just short of 7 years. And I found a website the other day that was sort of detailing our regimental history and didn't name me specifically, but I was reading it going, fucking hell, I'm a fucking grunt. At the end of the day, I don't get told why we're here. I don't get told why we're doing this exercise, what the purpose of this. I don't know any of the big picture stuff. I just fucking go in here and I'm driving here and I'm fucking flying out here and we're doing this and we're doing that and I'm packing this and I'm packing that and then we're fucking doing that and then we're doing this. But reading the chronological timeline of what my regiment was doing, it's almost like some sort of a unauthorized personal history. And I was on a train to London a few weeks ago and I was reading it and I was going, Jesus Christ, this is mad. This is absolutely crazy. Reading all this and having memories come back and being, oh my fucking God. I found it fascinating reading. But the operational tempo, 2003 to 2009 was fucking bonkers. If I was to give one piece of advice to someone joining the army, what would it be? Do it full-heartedly. It's not something you can join and half-arse. It's something that you need to join and fucking mean it, because you don't play at army, you don't play at military. No arm of them. I'll take the piss out of the RAF and the Navy because that's just what we do. But you don't play at it. It will become and it should become your identity, but be about it. And take it fucking serious. If I could have served in the military during any 7-year period in history, what would it have been? Fucking World War II. So a bit of that. How do soldiers deal with fighting some morally questionable wars, and what are the morals behind the conflicts discussed? You fight for your lads. That's it. The mission, the operation, the bigger picture, who gives a fuck? You're there for each other. Ralph says, don't take this the wrong way, but you always chubby. No, you need to go and see some of my old pictures. I think the reason I put on a load of timber is hormone balances from service. Rick says, currently in rehab with 2 vets with Afghan PTSD. Nicest guys I've ever met. However, what they've lived has changed them forever. Oh, it's changed all of us. Some for the better, some for the worse, undoubtedly. It's definitely fucking changed us. It's a defining moment in all of our lives. I kind of touched on this a little bit the other day. I think I've spoken about this with peers, and I think there's something happened, which I believe happened in the Falklands, and Janine says Stephen used to be classic boy band. Take that ever way you want. What happened with the Falklands, I think, happened with, I'll call it my generation, if you like. When you get a proper dust-up like the Falklands was, and you get a proper dust-up like Afghanistan was, none of those lads want to go back and have some fucking straight out of A-levels fucking Rupert telling them what to do. And the phrase I used the other day was the boys in the Falklands been fucking brassing up half a Boca Juniors Ultras. They go back to stagging on in Germany or stagging on in Catterick. Life just don't feel the same, and for most soldiers, you're going to get one roll at that. And for civilians to hear it, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's facts. We want to go to war. There'll be lads there now going, fucking go on, Putin, let's fucking do it. Let's fucking have it. There are battalions of British and American and probably German and French soldiers right fucking now that are fucking begging for this war. And it might not make sense. To me, I don't think we should fuck with it. To you, you might be thinking that's the fucking craziest shit I've ever heard. I guarantee you there are soldiers like now that are fucking itching like crackheads to get their trigger time. Dale, who's at Paddock, he's an ex-veteran. He'd done Afghanistan. He did Iraq, actually. I don't think he did Afghanistan. He was there for the invasion 2003. And he said something to me a month or so ago. And he said, no one has shinies anymore. Like medals. Because the operations aren't fucking... Devil Dog USMC says, I'm fucking down, fuck it. See, we're built differently. And it might not be the right thing and it might not be fucking healthy, but we're fucking down. And we want to go fucking brass up half the world. Because that's who we fucking are, fundamentally. Right? That's who we fucking are. Right? These people exist. And you have to fucking understand that these people need to exist. And they ever told me I look like Garfield. The cat. It's a new one. White Rose says, last 2 late night streams I've been on have been great. Good listening to your military career. Thank you. Do I think the 2002 story about US Army encounter with giant cavemen is legit? No. Oh, fucking hell. Do I miss shooting a gun? Yeah. There's a range not far from ours, and I haven't been in a long time. I don't know if it survived COVID, to be honest. I haven't been since COVID hit. Yeah, shooting a gun's fucking awesome. Do I think if it was all to kick off with World War III, everyone would get drafted in? No. Would I say soldiers don't fear death? No, I wouldn't say they don't fear death. I would say the desire to prove you can do what you trained to do is a greater pull than the fear of death. Hostad says, had an Apache fly over me a few weeks back. Weird it being out here. Whereabouts do you live? Devil Dog USMC says, I died at 18 the day I joined. How do you make the difference between work and daily life if violence is that appealing? Well, you can compartmentalise, can't you? Not a fucking lunatic. Well, not that much of a lunatic. Can I still sweat after my tours? I heard that was an issue after the Falklands. Oh, mate, he did that shit. Michael Talbot says, my brother's Royal Marines. Right. I guarantee he's fucking bout it, saying, go on, Putin, fucking press the button. Anthony says, what are my thoughts on increasing use of tech in the field? I think, and I'll tie this in with what Sean's saying as well, do you think Russia will invade, or is it just a dick measuring contest with Putin and Biden? I think this is very much a dick measuring contest that Putin's going. But I also think he legitimately doesn't want NATO on his doorstep. I think he wants a buffer. I think he wants like a row of countries, like Belarus, Slovenia, those sort of countries that border Russia to its western front, not to be NATO. And you can understand why, because NATO technically are all aligned to be the enemies of Russia. So I understand it. Now, you got to think, right, okay, if Americans, I could be wrong on this, but my interpretation of this is the PS4 looks dusty. That fucking thing haven't played in how long, that's why. In my opinion, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, the Cuban Missile Crisis, was because communists were in Cuba. Russia was in Cuba. which is striking distance from Florida. Now look how much America got its knickers in a twist over that. I don't see how Ukraine is any different from Russia's perspective. So I understand, and I could be wrong on the fine details in that, but I think it's more or less the same shit. I understand the desire from Putin to not allow that shit to happen, but I also think I don't think you can have a dick measuring contest with Russians. I think they fucking love fighting that much that they just... I think Putin will look weak if he pulls out, and I think he's gives less of a fuck about it and would rather just fucking get in a mix. And I can also think that this mission's going to end up as a legit one. I think it's going to go a bit down like Bosnia did, where Britain, America, Germany, whoever will all be there as a UN peacekeeping kind of thing, I think. Simon says the issue in Cuba was prestige. Steve, you're right. Gotta love studying that. Flashbacks. Right, okay. So I hadn't read up on that. I just knew a little bit about what Cuba was and thought, to me, that looks similar, but I didn't do any deep reading into it, so I could have fucked that up completely. Have I seen the Russian slapping contest? You can't fuck with Russia. Literally. Like, I don't think they want to push the big buttons, because I think they'd probably, like I was just saying, like most of the soldiers over here, they're going to love a tear up. They're going to fucking love a tear up in that front as well. Ryan says, covert arms to Ukraine, everyone's getting paid, banks financing it all. I saw airplanes worth of ammunition going over. And I'll be real with you, man. If they fucking say, Steve, right, you can come, but you got to go Russia, I'd be like... Half of me thinks, I don't think this one's going to end well, but the other half of me thinks, fuck it, let's go. Oh, fucking hell. I don't think I do very well out there in the state that I'm in at the moment. I mean, I fucking pulled a muscle going for a run. So I don't think I'd last too fucking long in the Arctic of Russia's fucking frozen tundra. Janine's just sent me a super chat that I missed. Dan Shepherd saying, surprised you're still live. Been following your weight loss journey. Have I considered doing a 100% carnivore diet? Jordan Peters and his daughter have had some extreme changes from it. No, I got no interest in doing that, to be honest. I think I'd feel pretty sick if I did that all the fucking time. How did I get so knowledgeable about the intricacies of war policies? Well, you kind of fucking make it your business to know a little bit about something if you're going to die for it, or potentially die for it. Am I more worried about US staging a false flag thing to kick off World War III? CIA literally planned to blow up a plane to blame it on the commies in Cuba so they can invade. Yep, and that might have been what 9/11 was, to a greater or lesser degree. Declan says, I'd honestly love hearing more about Steve's views on military and political operations based on his previous experience. It might happen. UK government telling British citizens in UK to come home. Yes, saw that. I mentioned that to Janine, and she was like, oh, I don't read the news. All right, cool. Putin thinks Biden is weak, and the US is very divided culturally. I think he's probably fucking correct on a few of those things. We should be allies with Russia, China. The problem will be going forward, and we are facing Russia into Winnie the Pooh's hands. I don't know why we've always decided that we're just going to roll with whatever America does and why we don't look elsewhere. Alex says, so NATO wanted to expand, but the former Soviet countries did not want another union government to take control and wanted more control of their country. My wife's from Latvia, that's how I know this. I die of a heart attack, my heart's fucking tickety-boo, mate. That'll be fine. Might die from it being fucking cold, though. One of the reasons I volunteered to go to Iraq was because how cold it was here. That's 100% true story. My boss phoned us. Tango, for anyone who knows him, but I'm not giving his name out here because he was a special forces kind of cat. And he just goes, Howson, I need 8 names to go to Iraq in 6 weeks. And I went, right. So I put the phone down. I went, boss wants 7 names to go to Iraq in 6 weeks. And everyone started fucking checking their shoes out. I was like, lads, come on. Fucking, who's having it? You ain't been. You ain't done a fucking tour. Let's fucking go. Who's coming? I got like 4 instant volunteers. And then we had to fucking... I was like, don't make me make you all fight for this. And then I got the names. And phoned the boss up, give him the names. I said, yeah, I'm coming as well. There we go. But I volunteered because it was fucking freezing. And I hate the cold. So I wouldn't enjoy the Russia one. You know, wait till summer. I'm there for you. We get another fucking £25-30 off. Get back in my combats and we'll be happy days. Raf says, have I seen Ford versus Ferrari? Yes. I love both of those cars. So, yes, big fan of that. Can 8,000 nukes stop a Roy Keane slide tackle? Jose says, as an American, I don't want us to be there. Let the EU deal with it. Last thing I want is a potential nuclear war. I don't think it'll ever get to that, you know. Yeah. I remember it snowed once in Iraq. I remember Christmas Day 2006. It fucking hailstormed in Afghanistan. It was fucking Baltic. Ukraine people don't want Russia. They want to join the EU. Putin doesn't want this because they'd be an American ally. Yep. Yeah, that was my take on that as well. How do soldiers carry so much weight on them and walk miles today? It's fucking mental, innit? So for those who are following the fitness journey that I've been doing, the test that I'm going to need to be able to be passing soon involve carrying a lot of fucking weight and all the rest of that sort of shit. So I went and did one a few miles the other day with 15 kg, 35-pound vest and a 20 kilogram, 45-pound kettlebell. Just held it in my hand for the whole way up a big fucking hill near ours. The weight thing, there's definitely strength elements to it. Like, you can't just mentally will yourself to be strong enough to do it. But throughout your training, you do slowly build up to it. I remember my junior card, I broke my ankle, man, and I had over £100 worth of kit on me, and that's why I think my ankle just fucking snapped. I think the weight thing's not as bad as you think. It restricts you. You can't fucking run when you're weighed down with it, but it ain't too bad, you know. It's weighty, but it's progressive, if that makes sense. Like, you don't just fucking stick 100 fucking kg on you and just be like, right, off you fucking pop. It takes a bit more like that. What's the terrain like where you have to walk? Hilly as fuck. Predictions on the Champions League? Oh, too early this early doors, man. Yash says, Howson, if you chalk it up and kettlebell swing a 24 kg for reps, you'll build work capacity quickly, or you use a sled. I do, if anyone wants to try this, actually, let me know how you do. So there is a kettlebell snatch test. Google it, kettlebell snatch test. 10 minutes, you can swap hands as much as you want, use a 20 kilogram kettlebell and see how many reps you can do. I measured 171. I think I can do 200. And it was fucking brutal. Lewis says, all right, I just left the army, was 5'9" engineers, was a PTI, need me to get down to Paddock and thrash the blokes. Oh, they get thrashed. There's no walking on my dance floor. There's no fucking about like that. They do burpees like motherfuckers. They get thrashed. If Russia annex Ukraine, What do you call a chicken at Kiev? Don't know. I feel self-conscious about going to the gym. Any advice on how to just grow some balls? Just fucking go. Do you see how much for the LA Rams Stadium is hosting the Super Bowl? No. I see Super Bowl prices, man, and they're like 25 grand a ticket, aren't you? Who the fuck can afford that? Chicken Moscow. Yash says, I've done that with a 24 kg kettlebell, but hands got wrecked. Did it when I was 20, managed 100, but 75 kg now. And like 87 and 23 would be fun to try the snatch test again. You got to rock it with a 20. 24 is just a bit too fucking juicy for it. I think if you look at some of our recent vlogs on the Patreon vlog, we've got a pair of 20s in the office. I can manage 20s. I think Joe can manage the 20s. Not really anyone else can fuck with the 20s. Ronaldo getting a 20 above his shoulders, hilarious. Ethan nearly died trying it. 20 is a good size, I think. It's not too mad. You can throw it up and then you're happy days with it. I just need to get running. As soon as they slice these calves open, I'm gonna be running like a motherfucking Kenyan. I'm gonna be out there just fucking putting miles down as soon as they let me do it. Hostad says, my cousin was an Apache pilot, leg got cut open after a woman crashed into him driving home from base. What's his name? And when did he leave? I could run in my army days, my lungs are gone thanks to the burn pits. Oof. Am I watching the Super Bowl? No. I got a pair of 24s, been doing it since I was 16 though. 24s is fucking meaty, man. I don't think that vlog's out yet. I think it is. Is it not? Pretty sure it was in the last one, was it not? When am I going to bed? Soon, I think. Might stay up for Izzy and Whitaker. We'll see how it goes. Steve, so it's clear you need to do a podcast to talk about stuff outside of footy. Yeah, fair enough. Hostad, no, what name of the pilot? Oh, Reece Drury's the name. I don't know Reece Drury. Can we do a Super Bowl like last year? Probably not. I don't think so. Best football commentator like now? For me, I think it's got to be Danny Higginbottom. I don't think there's anyone that fucking comes close to him. Yash says, am I the only one who wants to see Steve do some strongman shit? Oh, I saw before someone said, what's your deadlift PR? I've done 220. I'm nowhere near 200 at the moment, though. I'm not showing you the video because it's fucking embarrassing. I did 170 the other day, but got proper fucking disco leg. And I've never gotten disco leg before, but it's my first time using straps. So I know that I've maxed out doing that. Normally my grip goes, and I usually just fucking let go before my grip. Well, my grip goes before what I can carry goes. So I've gone with straps and just fucking absolutely mullered it. But yeah, 170. Joe's just fucking ahead of me at the moment, a bastard. Joe's low-key fucking enormous, you know. He's a pain in the ass with it. Got any recommendations or books to help with football tactics? Yeah. Oh yeah, have you seen my cousin? Yeah. Let me just. Oh, my fucking phone's dead. Watch Josh's Instagram. Go and get him loads of followers tonight and spook him out. If you search Josh Howson on Instagram, he looks like the fucking spitting image of me. How old is he? I think he's about 15 years younger than me. So what would that put him? 23? 22, 23, something like that. He's fucking heavier than I am now. He's about 20 stone. And he's doing strongman shit. And he's fucking destroying numbers. Go and check him out. It's called Josh Howson. And it literally looks like the fucking spitting image of me. But go fucking follow him and see the cracks up about. Would I go back in the octagon? I mean, I would, but I wouldn't fucking do anything. I haven't trained for fucking a long time. How legit is Anton Middleton? Well, he was UK Special Forces, right? I don't know anything of what he did. Was it 9 Squadron he was part of? Royal Engineers, I think. And then he joined Royal Marines, and I think joined SBS. I'm sure he is. I haven't heard anything otherwise. Devil Dog says Joe's stronger than boy band Steve. Yeah, I know it is. It's embarrassing. I mean, the guy's 6'5" and he's thick and all, so it's not that bad. I know he wears a turtleneck, but he's fucking huge. Jed, when someone clicks this to watch, they'll be like, "Fucking hell, I spent 3 hours talking about the game." Not just talking about the game, talking about Maguire and Shaw. That's these late night lives, innit? Saul just says, "Fucking hell, there's a spitting image in it." Yes, he is. Toxic says, I can't see long-haired Joe being a beast in the gym. I just can't see it. He's getting there. Oh yeah, the football tactics book. There's fucking loads. Just search tactics. There's this one here. This is the one I'm literally currently reading at the minute. This is a good one. Any of them by soccertutor.com. There's fucking loads. There's... I just want to fuck up my camera again, innit? Yep, told you. I'm still here. Just the camera's a bit fucking loose. I'm still here. I've not gone anywhere. Let me just get that back on. I knew I'd fuck it up. I'm still here if anyone can hear me. It's just... Here we go. Got it? No, got it. No. The light's come on, but it's not come on yet. I'm still here. I'll read some comments out while I'm trying to figure out the fucking camera. See, this is what happens every fucking time someone asks me about the books. The books are literally behind the camera and the wires are too loose to fuck with. But I am still around. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, everybody, if you can hear me. And I will get the camera back on. It's just a pain in the arse. This is what happened, innit? This is now an audio podcast. There we go. Everyone just chill with it. Stop asking about the fucking books and I'll stop knocking the camera off. They're literally right behind it. I have it back now, but it's still not there. It's gone dark. Yep, Spotify podcast time. Can I convince Ronaldo that they found a real Bigfoot? Yeah, I bet you could, you know. Espen says, I'm about to lose interest in the club. The last 6 or 7 years have been rough. Can I please help me see light at the end of the tunnel? I can, but it might be a train. I'm just going to put on the splash screen while I fix this piece of shit. Right, so I'm still here. There's the thumbnail. He's shit. Job's a fucking good one. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this camera, but I'm going to try and unplug it and plug it back in again, see what that does. You know, the old unplug it and plug it back in and hope for the best kind of thing. Right, the light's on now. It should have worked. Drop another book on the camera and see what happens. The light flashed then, you bastard. See, it flashed and then fucked off again. What's going on? Oh, come on, man. Right, I'm assuming that that's that. And we'll probably fucking call it a day. One last go. It's not having it. What's going on? Quit it. No, still not doing it. Out and in again. Oh, and if anyone's interested, this is a picture from when he stamped all over the fucking dude's leg, when he probably should have been sent off. What a fucking hero. Alright, this isn't doing it. Anyways, cheers for tuning in. Didn't expect to do 3.5 fucking hours tonight, but I guess that is what it is. Cheers for tuning in. I guess we'll probably do another late one at some point this week. Yeah, what a fucking nightmare way to end it with his fucking big slab napper on the thingy. But it is what it is, I guess. Cheers for tuning in. Enjoy the fights. See you in a bit.